All Fael could do was think about her hiding place inside the town and pray. Hope and danger, and no way to untangle them.
No way at all, except through magic! What's up, you dang nargs? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
And this is Knife of Dreams, Episode 1, a book club that will cover the chapters prologue through chapter 5. My brain just shut down right at the top of the show. That was great.
Prologue. Well, the chapter's prologue is like a weird sentence, but I understood where you're going.
I started to speak and realized I did not take Advil. And
you didn't?
I did not.
Go do it now.
No, it's okay. I'm fine. And so here we are. Before we get started, a couple of membership announcements already. Rantal Moore is back for 7 months.
Welcome back to the Nerd Table.
And Dirt Burb has given 5 memberships to the community. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Helping with the green nargs. And then Blue comes in with the 10 gifted subs.
Blue, thank
Dirt
you so
Burb,
much.
Blue, the two of you are mad lads, and we do appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Truly. Thank
Y'all.
We got a book.
We have an actual book that has plot this time.
It's really, really nice. But before we get into that...
Monkey is a member for a year. Is this how I quit? Yeah,
1 year.
If you want.
1 year and you're done.
If you quit now, though, you miss out on all the exciting things we have coming up, Monkey.
Yeah,
You're the only person in the chat who knows about those. So
exciting things coming up. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
We were lucky enough to have Monkey over for a little bit of a Lord of the Rings marathon on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And we got to spend some time IRL with our mod. We did not get a single photo. I realized.
Yeah, I think Monkey's okay with that.
Mm-hmm. I wanted it for me. I took 0 photos that whole day. We had like 13 people in our house for a full day and I took no photos.
I only took video of the movies that I've seen a million times.
Yeah. You were just taking videos of the screen with me shouting behind you.
You and everybody else.
Yeah.
It was rowdy.
Yeah, dang Nerdy keeping the other mods in the dark. Fabu knows, because Fabu's going to be a part of it as well. Guys, we have a very exciting project this summer. We can't tell you about it until my birthday. The announcement for it is going to happen on my birthday, April 28th. And you're like, wow, you're announcing an announcement 2 months out. The size of this project is so large that it involves getting like
my balls.
13 people on board.
I need 13 people on board.
Yes.
Okay.
What do you want me to say? I know you like gangbang porn. I don't know what you want me to do with that.
I said my balls.
Oh my god.
It's fine. Whatever. We're crushing it.
So we're going to do a big we're going to do a big thing this summer.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited, but I'm very scared. Because we're putting money into it, and I'm like, oh, if this doesn't work,
it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome. It's my greatest idea ever.
We're very excited.
Probably my second greatest after book club. We did have 13 Aes Sedai in the house, Never Bluffs, but it was a mixture of Ashman and Aes Sedai. You know.
Yeah. So it's very powerful.
Bob C. Thank you for that super chat. Hi guys, I'm so excited for the rest of the reviews book club. This book is probably tied for first place with book 4. I understand why.
Okay, all right, let's go.
I understand why.
Yeah, I mean, we already have so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Matrick, you have no idea. Before we get into the book, though, we have a very important question to ask the chat.
Oh, I thought you were joking about this.
I am not joking because I am incapable of making decisions.
I really thought this was a joke.
No, I'm dead serious.
Okay, go ahead.
So, chat, do we buy a car today? That is my question.
Well, you have to give them more details.
Okay, fine. Okay. We've had our little accent for over a year now. And Nerdy's long boy, and accent is short car. And so we're driving down to JordanCon in April, and it would be nice to have a little more leg room and room for traveling. We're driving to Atlanta twice this year. And so We're looking for a more spacious vehicle.
We also want a hybrid.
We also want a hybrid.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of it. And then the third reason is that, we want to buy a house in like a year or two, hopefully, maybe. And being self-employed makes that very hard. But if you have like debt that you consistently pay off, the bank likes that.
Yes.
Because capitalism. And so if we have like payments regularly for a car, it would be nice. So yeah.
Essentially, we this is such a like weird problem to have. But we currently own our vehicle and we don't have much debt outside of student loans, which don't count towards buying a house.
Yeah.
So if we want to buy a house in like a year and a half, then we run into a problem of we don't because we're content creators and our jobs don't have like pay stubs. We don't have any like income, and so we need to have collateral against our loans. And so having a like nice car that looks better on that piece of paper might help us buy a house and stop renting, which is a nightmare for us.
Yeah.
But so there's a car that we can get for MSRP, and we're like, well,
yeah, but it's probably going to be gone after today, which is why I asked chat. Chad, how do you feel about the Hyundai Tucson hybrid? I would like to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, the Hyundai Tucson hybrid. Yeah.
Yes. We like our Hyundai. We like the accent.
The Pie Pepper guy says a good used car is best. A new car is an immediately depreciating asset. That is only true in terms of resale value, but a new car is not a depreciating asset in terms of making our credit look good when we try and buy a house.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
and like that's the calculation that I know this is such a weird problem that we're dealing with. But
I know.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Okay, a lot of people saying yes, Tucson looks good.
All right.
So yeah, here's the thing. It's really nice and we can afford it. Obviously it's like a big commitment, which is why I asked book club. Because I cannot make decisions.
And which is why I thought it was a joke.
No.
But also buying a used hybrid
poll?
is harder, right? Like, I don't know. Are you actually doing a poll about this? We're here to talk about the Wheel of Time.
No, we're here to help solve our life problems. This is therapy.
Chad, this is no longer about the Wheel of Time. This is about you solving our problems.
How do I make it? Can I do /poll? Does that work? Nope, that doesn't work. Okay, well, I have no idea.
Mega KWAG says we're going to get a lot of varying opinions on this.
I figured.
Perry Wolf, though, says it's a problem every self-employed contractor has. Yes, 100%.
Yep, it's just something that we have to deal with. And
our income, the problem is our income doesn't look real. Even though the numbers are good, like we're doing good. We're good. Honestly,
yeah.
Mostly because of Blue, but we're doing good. And
thanks, Blue.
between like our acting stuff outside of this and also the YouTube stuff, and we work all the time. We work very hard and we're okay right now. Mm-hmm. But the problem is that every time we want to get a loan on anything, they're like, you don't have any assets or any debt. Do you exist? And we're like, yes, we exist.
I promise we exist. We are real.
It's frustrating.
Please.
It's like you're punished for owning your vehicle fully, which is insane to me, because you would think it would be, we have more of an asset because we own our car than if we had a car that we were leasing, but the banks don't view it that way. And it's very weird.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
So looks like chat is mostly like all for it. So
all right, I guess we're buying a Hyundai Tucson today.
I'm gonna let him know that we're to let me know if it sells before the end of book club.
Dirtburb says you gotta ask if it's a good choice in this economy.
Dirtburb, welcome back to the achievement. Thank you for that one.
Banned.
Thank you, appreciate that. Yeah, guys, finances are weird. I don't understand. I'm just trying to do the thing.
And Bryce says finances arcane wizardry, and I will never be disabused of that notion. True.
Yeah, no, it's one of those. It's not a plug-in hybrid. It's the your brakes charge the battery hybrid. Yeah. I don't know what that's called. No, Step, we get free healthcare. Well, not free healthcare. No, it's not free. No free houses.
No free houses. But we want to own because we want to like have sets and stuff for upcoming shows. And what's interesting is that you can't do that in a rental. So we're it's a regenerative hybrid. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, that's the one. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wait, you made the Narg Smart Beanie public?
Sure. There's a new beanie in the store.
Well, but don't buy it yet. We ordered a tester to make sure that we like it.
I thought it was private. Is it public?
Oh my god. This fucking guy right here.
Wait, no, it's not. Guys, the beginning of this podcast has been derailed by my wife.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see any comments about how this is my fault. This is her fault.
This is all my fault. I take full responsibility. I'm going to let the guy know.
Is it public?
I think we're going to get it after work today. If it's still...
Yeah, there's a new beat. Okay, it's public. I'm not going to make it private. If you guys want one, buy one.
Wow, this is like the prototype.
Next week, I'll wear this, and you can see if you want it. But if you want to buy it without seeing it in person, the new Narg Smart beanie. It doesn't say Narg Smart on it. It just has our little Narg on it. It's real cute. I fucking love it. Yeah, it's in the store.
It's
Can I show my screen really quick for people who wanna?
Oh yeah, you could.
Is this?
Oh, that's cute. It's a good look.
Where's window capture?
Oh my god.
Let me switch over first. This is the new beanie.
Surprise announcement that we were not expecting to announce right now, but hey, you know what?
That's the new beanie in our Fourth Wall store. If you like it, buy it. If you don't. The colors might change in the future. So if you want to get this one, this week might be your only opportunity. We don't know yet. We might change the color.
We'll see how it looks in person.
The thing is, we had to simplify it for the beanie. There was just no way.
They can't thread that kind of detail, unfortunately. Yeah.
Avendasor, thank you for joining the Nargs. I used to
back.
think this book just seemed fantastic because it follows across the tub, and I know it is fantastic and the best book in the series in your opinion. That's awesome. I can't wait to read the rest of it.
Let's go.
Arazu Kashef report, your podcasts always feel like hanging out with friends. That's because there's no structure here. Thank you for that super chat. That's very kind.
Thank you for the super chat. We really appreciate it.
But yeah, that's the new beanie. I don't know if people like it or not. It only comes in green. But if people want other colors, Pandoria says they want black. I feel like we'd have to change the colors of Narg to have a black one, but...
No, because then the shadow would just be the texture.
We should call it limited edition. All right, this is the limited edition first run Narg beanie.
Limited edition, where it's gone after 2 weeks.
Yeah, gone by next week. It'll look completely different. So only real Nargs will get this first look.
Wow.
That's how you sell shit.
Apparently, yes.
That's how you... Oh, I'm not supposed to show that screen.
That is what I've heard.
Oops.
Nailed
it's a disaster. Clarus.
Nailed it.
We're buying a car later.
Probably.
So buy a lot of beanies.
Yes, buy a lot of beanies because they'll go up in value because they'll be rare and you can resell them in 10 years when people find this podcast.
Everyone go buy a beanie so that we can afford a car.
Wow. All right. Here's the thing. Nobody in chat was like, no, Hyundai Tucson is not a good car. So that gives me hope that we're not buying, I don't know, another fucking Jeep Patriot.
Yeah. All right. Friends, Romans, countrymen. Clarus.
Lend me your...
What did you think of the first 6 chapters? And by first 6 chapters, I mean the novel that is the prologue, and then the 5 chapters that are the beginning of the book.
Pretty great. 9 out of 10, honestly. I'm very happy with it. Lots of stuff happened. Robert Jordan, it feels like, woke up from his sleep and was like, I need to get going on this. And was like, I'm going to put as much as I possibly can into 182 pages.
Yeah.
So, appreciate it. Because honestly, it was great to read. It's fucking great.
Yeah, it's interesting. I will say I think the prologue is better than the chapters that follow it. Again, much like last book.
It's pretty consistent.
Robert Jordan seems to use the prologue to do interesting things, and then gets to the chapters and slows down for some reason. And a lot of people will use the prologue to have extraneous information that doesn't affect the plot very much, or main characters. Whereas, what?
I think someone bought a beanie.
Who bought a beanie? Mura! If you get a car today, I hope this helps.
Thank you. It definitely helps.
That is so funny.
Thanks for buying a beanie.
So I think but Egwene's storyline happens in the prologue?
Yeah, which doesn't feel like prologue material. Like, honestly...
It's the plot. It is literally like the continuation of the final chapter of the last book. Like what Robert Jordan considers to be prologue is very confusing to me.
It is very strange. I definitely, like, figured that, like, you know, the Forsaken stuff would be in the prologue, and then the Egwene stuff would be in, like, the main chapters.
Yeah.
But whatever, it's not that big a deal. Samantha, thank you so much for the super chat.
Samantha says, car fund, love Hyundais. Also, it was cool seeing Ayla Smart, a.k.a. Avienda, in Cocaine Bear. Fun ride if you like funny, gory films.
Oh, yeah, we gotta see that. I forgot.
Is that one we would wait to do a reaction on?
I think we react to that one.
All right.
I feel like
Cocaine Bear reaction incoming in, like,
whenever
2 months.
it comes out. Yeah, I think that one's gonna be bonkers.
It's in theaters right now, so.
Yeah, so give it, like, 6 weeks at least.
Maddirk, our wonderful mod, thank you for being here, Maddirk, says, at this point in the publishing, they were doing early release teasers of the prologue.
Okay. So Robert Jordan was like, hey, just so you know, this is what happened to Egwene. Mm-hmm. For the prologue. I mean, okay, it's a choice.
Yeah, sure.
It's a choice.
Robert Jordan was like, hey, I know what Egwene did at the end of the last book didn't make a lot of sense. So I'm going to explain it in a pre-release thing so that people know before they buy the book that it's all good.
Yeah.
yeah, it's just interesting. It's a weird, like, structural thing that he does that I've never seen in anybody else's writing.
Yeah, it's almost like instead of having the prologue to show us characters that we may not get perspectives of, like, I feel like a lot of prologues are from an outside perspective or from a unique perspective, whereas it feels like Robert Jordan kind of literally uses the prologue as a groundwork for where the book might be headed. So, which is why there's main characters in there. Or for cool stuff. Like
my thing is that it's not even groundwork. With his books, the prologue and the chapters are indistinguishable from one another.
I will.
They're so long. The prologue for this book is 97 pages in the Kindle edition.
Yeah. It's
97. Like, that is a fucking novel.
Michael Kioski, thank you so much for that super duper chat. We do love new merch.
New merch.
We're working
on some stuff.
More stuff for y'all, I promise.
Yeah. Prologue as teaser trailer.
We're trying to find an artist who, like, actually, like, knows Wheel of Time, which actually has been proven a little difficult. So, 3.5 hours in Audible. That is wild. Huh.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
All right. Let's get into it, though. Why don't we just talk about it? Let's get in. It's been 17 minutes. Let's start with the prologue, which we'll be talking about for the next 2 hours. Mm-hmm. And then we'll talk for like 15 minutes about the rest of the chapters. Knife of Dreams prologue. Embers falling on dry grass.
As soon as I read this, I was like, that's a sword form, right?
No, I think it's that the Sanchin country is a tinderbox waiting to explode. You know what I mean? It's like when the Straits do a gender reveal in California in the summer. And suddenly the whole forest is on fire because the fucking...
Wow.
I was about to call them the sissies, but that's a whole different thing.
No. Wow.
You know, when the Straits do a gender reveal and it's dry and they fucking, like, light off a pink firework to say it's a girl, and then fucking suddenly California's burning to the ground.
On fire. Yeah. It's good times.
It's the same thing as the Knife of Dreams prologue.
Embers falling on dry grass.
This really is just a gender reveal. That's all it is.
Sure.
For Arengar. It's Arengar's gender reveal party.
Wow.
That's a shirt I want. Arengar's gender reveal party, and it's just a super hot lady.
It's just anime titties. Like, anime titties.
It's a waifu shirt, like Gamer Subs.
Oh, speaking of which, today is brought to you by Titty Milk. Yeah.
No, it's not. Technically.
I'm saying that we like our titty milk, and by that I mean it's a Gamer Subs flavor that's I think strawberries and cream.
We just can't say that it's brought to you by because it isn't. They didn't pay for that.
I didn't say the S word.
Yeah, but you're still not a sponsor.
We are partnered with Titty Milk.
They are friends of ours.
Yes. So if you two want some titty milk, it's exactly what I thought titty milk would taste like.
Yeah. But like, what if this was the shirt, right?
What if that was the shirt?
And it just said Arengar's gender reveal party.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, like, she had a necklace on that said Halima.
One of those, like, dog, like, name collars, like...
Yeah. I like this idea a lot.
I know.
It's so funny.
I wish I could draw.
There's like a table, and it's like the Last Supper, but Halima's in the middle, and she just has massive tits, and her arms are folded underneath them.
Oh
my god, this might be our best piece of merch ever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We'll see.
And in the background, there's a forest burning to the ground.
I actually have an artist. I found one this morning because I just like followed somebody who would do that very well.
All right, hold up. Chat.
Anyways,
let us cook. So we start the prologue in Amadisia, which was interesting. So I was like, who the fuck is in Amadisia that we care about? Nobody. Oh, it's Galad. Don't give a shit about him. That's about to change.
Yeah. Turvog, thank you so much before we move on to that for that super chat. Appreciate that.
Message us about that artist in the Discord.
Yeah, send us.
We're not going to remember in 5 minutes.
Yeah, shoot either one of us a message. We'll let you know what we're looking for, and hopefully you can put us in touch.
Yeah, we are trying to find some artists for some merch and from upcoming opportunities that are like paid, like paid, not like $50, like paid.
Yeah.
So if you know good artists, leave them in the Discord. Join the Discord if you're not a member. It's really fun there. But you might get banned if you argue with us about Attack on Titan too much.
Depends on your tone, you know?
Depends on your tone.
Anyways, Galad.
We've had a week, y'all. We've had a fucking week.
It's been a week.
Galad is with Dane Bornhold. So really, and Jarrett Beyer, really just the cream of the crop in terms of people to be hanging out with. He has surrounded himself with the worst of the worst, truly.
Yeah.
But they're riding into a camp that has been given to the White Cloaks by the Sanchin, which says a lot about where the Sanchin are at.
Yeah.
And a lot about where the White Cloaks are at. Emin Valda, the current Lord Captain Commander, has been working with those pesky Southerners from across the ocean. But they're not going there for fun. They're not going there for orders.
No fun will be had.
They're going there because the rumor has passed through the White Cloaks that Emin Valda raped Morghese.
Which is true.
Which is true. And Galad, being a good son, is really pissed about that, understandably.
Yeah.
And this is the most relatable character in the entirety of the Wheel of Time, because if you tried to fuck with my mom, I would kill you.
Yeah.
This was the moment where I was like, I mean, yeah.
I get it. This was the moment you turned to me, you're like, now I want to play Galad in the show.
Yeah, this is the most relatable storyline in this entire show.
Yeah.
That dude fucked my mom.
And you think she's dead? Like...
And then killed her? I am going to go kill that man. Yes. And his boys are like...
His boys are like, yeah, that checks out.
Yeah, of course we're coming.
Good thing we have laws
your
for
mom?
This. Which is weird that there are...
I don't even care that there are laws. I'm killing that man no matter what.
No, I just mean it is interesting that there are specific laws that the children have about if someone fucks around with a female member of your family, which makes me think that it probably happens pretty often.
Yeah, unfortunately. So he rides into town, and Emin Valda is very cocky. He's doing some cat crosses the courtyard, which maybe we're just watching too much Attack on Titan, but I pictured him like walking across the courtyard like this.
Like one of the Titans?
With his, no, just like very like soft and very like... Galad, you want to fight me?
Full like a Rum Tum Tugger from Cats.
Because Jellicles can and Jellicles do. I want this to be a musical sequence so bad, and it is the Rum Tum Tugger song.
It is.
It's just Emin Valda being like, the Rum Tum Tugger is a curious cat. It would be very funny.
And then all the people on the sides are like, and there isn't any need for you to get it.
The White Cloaks.
Asuna was like, and he will do as he do. Like. Anyways.
So Emin Valda's super cocky about it, and he's like, I'm the Lord Commander. I'm gonna run this shit. And then Bayer's like, actually, legally you can't. I'm technically the next in command, so I'm gonna run this shit. And Emin Valda's like, yeah. And I'm like,
okay.
It's just, do you really want to run your own fight? That sounds hard. If I was Emin Valda, I'd be like, yeah, you handle the fucking talking. Let me focus.
Yeah.
And we find out, I don't know if it's for the first time, but I did not remember Emin Valda being a Heron-marked Blade Master.
I don't remember it either.
I don't know that we've ever seen him in a fight, but I don't remember this ever coming up before this.
No, I don't. I mean, he would have had to have at least been a very accomplished fighter to have the rank that he does, like, but yeah, I don't know if the Heron Mark blade was specifically ever mentioned before. It might.
Someone in chat might say, if it was brought up before this, I would actually be interested, but,
yeah. If it happened, we forgot it. So.
Samantha A says, I think surprise Heron happens a lot in Wheel of Time. That's fair. Slickjack says power creep strikes again. I don't think this is power creep. I actually like the idea that Eminvalda... I think that in order to lead an organization like the White Cloaks, especially because before when Pedro was the commander, he was really just the like swordmaster, captain.
He was like a commander.
This makes a lot of sense to me, and it didn't take me out of it. It actually adds stakes to Galad's fight here. So the way that this is used is very smart. Mm-hmm. The one thing that it does do is it makes the Eminvalda that we meet on the show feel non-existent in the series.
Yes, very different.
Like, I don't really know where the show Eminvalda fits into this character. It feels more like the show Eminvalda is just a Sunawa at this point. And it doesn't feel like there's a lot of Eminvalda from the books that is in that character at all. No, they do feel very different. And I wonder how they're going to handle that. We'll talk about that when we do our, rewatch through. But, yeah. Yeah. I wonder why they didn't just call him a Sunawa on the show. I wonder why they chose Valda as the name for that character when he doesn't seem to share any of the characteristics of the character that we meet in the books. But the show character feels like a White Cloak, and he feels like he's a good character on the show. The actor is incredible. I have no problems with the character on the show, other than the fact that the more we've met about Valda, the less he feels relevant to that character. Yeah, in the show, are there separate White Cloaks and Questioners? Because I don't... Oh, Wheel of Time, welcome back to the Nerd Table. Oh, thank you, Wheel of Time.
Popular theory is show Valda is a combination of Valda and Caradon. Oh, like the Dark Friends?
But he feels more like a combination of a Sunawa and Jaichim Caradon, not Valda, right? All we've met about Valda is that he's a swordmaster, he's a soldier, he wants to be a leader, he wants to, be the next Lord Captain Commander of the White Cloaks, and Show Valda doesn't have any of those characteristics. He's also a very, masculine, sexual character towards Morghese, which Show Valda doesn't feel like he has that same sort of nature to him.
Yeah.
It's just very interesting. I wonder why they... I wonder why they chose Valda for that character when they could have introduced a Blade Master later who would have been an interesting foil for Galad. But it almost feels like by making that Valda and by taking away the Blade Master, warrior element of that character... Because when they're under attack, he's not a warrior. He's a coward.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
By taking away that element, I feel like this moment is going to get lost because who is Galad going to fight here?
It's a good question. I honestly don't know. It's definitely a big question that we're gonna have rewatching this show. Arazu, thank you so much for that super chat.
Show Eminvalda feels like Valda plus Asunawa. I do think I will be very satisfied when Show Valda dies. I think that I'll be... I don't know. I don't think that I will care if Galad beats him because I won't be surprised that Galad beats that character in a fight.
Yeah, that character is not a Blade Master.
But this character is. Book Valda is a fucking badass. Okay. I hate him, but he's a badass.
Here's the thing. Valda has an opportunity, right, to name somebody else to fight for him.
Oh, so maybe he'll name a soldier?
Maybe. I think...
That's that? Okay.
I think I read that correctly, but...
But then Valda doesn't die,
Well, no. If he beats that dude's guy, then he is guilty under the light, so Valda is dead.
Yeah, but him getting hanged the next day versus him losing the fight and dying in the fight is different and less interesting to me.
I don't know if any of this will be in the show, but...
I know, but this was the greatest scene. Guys, this was the best fucking scene in these books. This scene fucking rocked. I got to the end of the first 17 pages of Galad, and I was vibrating. I had to put the book down. I couldn't read anymore because I was so excited about how fun this scene was to read that I literally stopped reading. I needed to take a break because I was hyped up on Mountain Dew. You know what I mean? It's fucking rad.
Zetterog, welcome back to the Nerd Table. Starting a little late today. My favorite singing group's Unmasked singing last night. Had to watch it first. That's fine. I understand.
Pentatonics wins out for you. That makes sense.
We love Pentatonics.
They're all hot. That is a group of people who are all attractive.
That is by Panic. Right there.
James Ross says, for the week you've had in the car fund, now can I get that back so I can get my own car? Yes, James Ross.
Thank you, James
Next
Ross.
time I see you, I'll give you $5.
Appreciate it.
But like this scene is so good for so many reasons. One, it takes a character whose biggest flaw is that he will do the right thing no matter what, and it makes it his absolute strength. Right?
Yeah. I love that's how Robert Jordan decided to use it here.
Yeah. We've been shown repeatedly that Galad is looked down on by people because of the way that he is so righteous. Mm-hmm. And so we haven't seen him in a while, and he comes back to avenge his mom, which is always, everyone can relate to that, right? Yeah. To become a blade master, to become a Heron Mark blade master himself.
Heron Mark sword, yeah.
Right? He levels up. Like, this is one of those storylines where, like, you're like, fuck, like, yeah, this is awesome.
Here's the thing. Unless you cut, like, most of the White Cloak stuff, this scene actually needs to happen because now Galad is the leader of the White Cloaks. Mm-hmm. So it actually is,
some
like,
of them.
kind of necessary. No, like, technically, the guy's like, no, you beat him.
I know, but I think they've split. Like, I think that from here on out, there's going to be the, like, Galad White Cloaks and the Asuna White Cloaks.
Oh, Galad is going to stand up on a platform and be like, look, we're going to have to work with the Aes Sedai to get through Tarmangaden. And yeah, half of them are going to leave, and the half that stay.
Yeah.
It's going to be very, like, Ruidian.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I loved it so much. And honestly, like, Robert Jordan's forms of sword fighting can be a little bit almost silly at times. Almost. But the way that he wrote this fight, it reminded me, honestly, of the fights in New Spring that I liked so much. They were personal.
Beautiful.
They had, like, emotional stakes that related to, like, the characters, but also stakes that related to the larger world around them.
Yeah.
Like, between the end of New Spring and the beginning of this book, we're getting a lot of fights that have personal motivations again, as opposed to just being these giant battles for victory of armies and, like, land victories. But there are, like, really personal stakes down to, like, the core of these fights that just makes them more interesting to read and allows for them to have kind of an ebb and flow of emotionality for the character fighting them that builds to this climax of Galad considering sheathing the sword and knowing that he will sheath the sword to win this fight. He has
to,
but not needing to because he does win. He does overpower Valda and he gets the dub. And it just is,
he uses his arrogance against him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really clever. I honestly think this is one of the best written fight scenes I have ever read. And here's why. I think for some people, the forms may not really work, but I think that they're really poetic. And instead of, I brought my sword up and he hit it this way, and then I brought my sword around and that kind of thing, using these, like, names of forms really lets the audience picture it in their head the way that they want to picture it. Mm-hmm. Because you don't know what fucking
oh yeah, not they're all nonsense.
Yeah,
because they could be anything.
Yeah, Red Hawk takes a dove. Like, I don't know what that means, but I can I can picture it however I want it, and that's really cool.
But it digs down into it allows you to kind of glaze over the actual sword fight and just focus on the emotion of the moment.
It's like an emotional dance. Yeah.
And it's so fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, this Galad fight, it's the best opening to any book in the series. It's one of my favorite openings to any book ever. Like, and I'm not joking about that. Like, this is one of my favorite opening sections of a book I've ever read.
Yeah.
It is electric.
Yeah.
And you see characters who you previously hate. Like Dane Bornhold, I hate. Do the right thing. It makes the characters more complicated by having them do the right thing in spite of their past actions.
Yeah.
And, like, you get to the...
And hopefully maybe have a hope for redemption.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then we get to the after fight where he becomes the Lord Captain Commander. Asunawa fled, right, with his questioners, which is very interesting. We've kind of split the White Cloaks.
Yeah.
And now... The white cloaks are going to work with the Aes Sedai because Galad is like, guys, let's be honest, we're gonna need him at some point.
Here's the thing, I think that, like, Galad taking over and Asuna running away is going to help, like, weed out a lot of the dark friends that are in the White Cloaks, because I'm sure dark friends are probably like pretty okay with, torture and stuff. So I'm sure a lot of them are in the questioners. So they're kind of in their own like split faction. And then unless they have orders otherwise, the white cloaks that are dark friends who are in like who are not questioners but are there to hear Galad speak, like if they have orders to stay, then they'll stay. But otherwise, the idea of like working with the Aes Sedai might be like a huge no for them. And I hope that it kind of like trims the fat,
Yeah, it's just it is one of the first times in these books where I felt like a character who had a very strongly held position was being realistic about the world they lived in.
Yeah.
And it was really nice to see. Galad went from being this character who every time he showed up, I was like, oh my God, this fucking guy, to being like, I want whole books about him.
Yeah.
In 15 pages, Robert Jordan took a character that I did not care for and did not care about and made him one of the best characters in the series.
Yeah.
In 15 pages. And it is so goddamn effective. That I'm like, that he's not in the next 200 pages and I'm upset about it because he's so fucking good.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Anyway.
It's fantastic. James Smith, thank you for that super chat.
A quick hello while at work. I cannot wait to watch this one. Have a great stream. Have a great day at work, James Smith. Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
James Ross also says, I will now picture all Wheel of Time sword fights as Spaceballs choreography. Your Schwartz is as big as mine, Galadriel.
James Smith, thank you for 5 gifted subs. Let's freaking go.
Thanks so much. And Robin says, thank you for being a Narg for 9 months. A little sad.
That's a Narg baby right there.
But Robert Jordan was sick while writing Knife of Dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was him trying to speed up the story before he came to the end of his life. That is very sad. But also, I'm glad that his final book is so beloved. You know what I mean? If you're going to leave a legacy.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. If you're going to do it, you fucking go for it, right?
S has disliked our video. Thank you, S, for engaging. The YouTube algorithm does not see a difference between a like and a dislike, so we appreciate you coming in and joining the conversation.
Appreciate it.
I also do like that Galad is now the leader of the White Cloaks, and he thinks that's dumb. Because I also think that that's dumb.
Yeah, he's like, this is kind of a dumb way to do stuff, but I guess I'll use it to my advantage.
It's like if you're the best you get to be our leader because you're the best sword fighter is a terrible fucking system.
Yeah. I'm like, why didn't someone just challenge Pedro Nile to like a fucking duel or something? Like,
yeah.
I heard a rumor you looked weird at my sister. Sword fight. Under the law, I think you have to do something about it. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Seems very flawed.
I think it's because people were scared of Pedro Nile.
Fair.
He was a scary man.
Fair. You know what? That's fair. I cannot wait to get Balwer's POV about what happened to Valda.
Oh, when he learns?
Yeah.
That'll be nice.
Yeah.
I hope Galad gets to tell him.
Yes.
Point of view number 2 of, 7 in the prologue? Riddell, guys, how the fuck do you pronounce this guy's name? Rodel Literalde. That's what his name is from now on. Rodel Literalde.
I think that's the only way to say it.
Y'all said this guy was pretty badass, and I didn't believe you
You're
because I was like,
okay, whatever.
Sure, this guy's pretty badass. Rodel is in Sarana, in Terabon, and he's just like waiting on a hill, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then he executes an attack on the Sanchin that takes 0 losses and kills the Domain and the Soldam and the leader of the Sanchin in the first volley of arrows. Rodel fucking rocks.
Here's the thing, he rocks. The dude who ran away to like chase after the rest of them, he probably took a few losses, but fuck that guy, he's a dumbass.
That guy's not Rodel, and Rodel used that guy so that his team was never, the people he actually trusted were never in danger.
Yeah.
Rodel is a fucking badass.
Big brain.
I do not want to go against this man in the war, and I do hope he works for Rand soon because him and Davram Bashir together, oh, doggy.
Unstoppable.
Ain't no Tarman Gaiden against them. It's Tarman Gaiden against the Dark One. The Dark One's gonna show up to Tarman Gaiden and be like, oh, fuck, is that Rodel and Davram? I'm screwed. Guys, pull back, retreat. We'll fight another day.
Yeah.
They got Rodel and Davram.
Guys, that's it. That is the secret to Tarman Gaiden. Just bring those two together and like we're Gucci, you know?
I would love if Tarman Gaiden was just Rodel and Davram kicking the Dark One's ass for 9 hours of Audible. Like, it's not even a fight.
No.
The devil, like, shows up so cocky and he just gets, like, fucking smoked.
Actually, I think that would be great. I think you should pronounce Rodell's name in a New York City accent.
What the fuck? He saw Rodell Iturralde. You know what I'm saying? Like, that guy's gonna be swimming with the fishes. Skeptical Mario, thank you for buying a new beanie.
Appreciate it. You're gonna be one of the few who has.
I feel bad.
Beanie.
They're like, I wanted to show my appreciation in a way that wasn't so attention-seeking, and then I just threw their name out there.
Sorry, our bad. Should have read first before.
I got excited that people like the beanie. It's fun.
We have no idea what it looks like. Let us know when you get it.
But that's basically it. They released volley after volley at the Sanchin. The Sanchin get fucked here.
Yeah.
And apparently across the entire country. I don't have much else to add other than I can't wait for more Rodell because this was very short.
Yeah, and he's like, I got we're messy. He's like, I got plans on plans, you know?
Yeah, his plans have plans.
Yeah. Which is great.
He's like,
if that one fails, I got a backup plan for that and a backup plan for that backup plan.
What do you think his trap is that he set in Aradoman?
I don't know. I just imagine the Indiana Jones boulder rolling down a hill and smashing through the sunshine, but I'm sure that that's not it.
It's so funny.
I'm positive that that's not it, but when I hear trap, that's just kind of what I hear.
That is so funny.
You're welcome. I have no idea. I'm not a strategist. I'm mediocre at chess at best, so I have literally no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we've gotten past the two men's point of views.
Yeah.
We'll have one more male point of view before the end of this because we still get Perrin at some point. But
there was a moment in here.
Okay.
The Rodell watches the Sanchin just fully ride down a bunch of civilians who then are not there anymore. They ghost people.
No, people collected them off the street after. It says in the chapter he thinks that the people of the town...
That's what he thinks happened, but he's like, that would be really fucking weird if that was the case. So are they ghost people?
I mean, maybe.
The Sanchin didn't see them, which is why they didn't even twitch. They
the ghost down. People thing is it just doesn't mean anything to me right now.
It means Tarmageddon is coming. That's all we know.
Yeah, but they don't interact in any way, so it's just people being like, "Oh, a ghost."
Okay.
And then we just move on. It's fine. I don't know. The whole ghost thing. I hope that it leads to something because it's just been happening for 3 books now, and I'm like, yeah, they're apparitions.
Yeah. Just wait till they start becoming corporeal. Telemark, thank you for the super
cool.
chat. Yeah.
Right, and that would... oh, yeah. Telemark, thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate it.
That would be cool, right?
Yeah.
It's just right now, the ghost thing feels very ooh, spooky, jump scare.
Yeah.
Not relevant to anything, but just a jump, just a teeny weeny jump scare.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, cool.
I'm sure it'll matter in 2 books.
I thought that was not. I didn't think that was about ghosts. I thought that was about how the Sanchin, when it comes to combat, I thought Robert Jordan was trying to tell a story about how when it comes to combat, the Sanchin are the amicable dictatorship.
Yeah, man.
Up until the point where the Sanchin are in danger, and then if you're not Sanchin, you don't matter.
Yeah.
I thought that was what the point of that was. I didn't think that was another ghost moment personally, but...
it just was weird enough, because Rodell was like, oh, that's super fucking weird if people came out and just nabbed those dead bodies immediately, and I was like, ghosts. But I don't know.
I don't know.
We may never find out. It might be open to interpretation.
Yeah. I don't... Yeah, or we need to read it again. One of the two.
Well, it'll happen at some point.
Point of view number 3. Surath's point of view. Surath is not sleeping very well because, everything fucking sucks for her.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, Surath is fucked.
So she's just lying there being like, I need to find Tuon, unless Tuon is trying to run away to get me in trouble intentionally, which would suck, and I don't know what to do about that.
She's lying awake trying to figure out why Tuon would manufacture another capture for her based on the 2 previous ones she's already manufactured.
This is also where the point of views begin, where for the next rest of the reading, if you thought the spankings were done, They're not. They're back.
More
Full
spankings.
force.
Yeah. Surat's no good, terrible, very bad day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except it ends well. It like starts bad, but it ends pretty positive.
I wouldn't say like positive, but like she's not completely fucked.
It ends with like her boss being like, "Hey, do you want a promotion?"
Yeah.
To Empress.
Not
That's
bad.
not a bad ending to the day that starts off with, "Oh, I think I'm going to have to slit my wrist in the bathtub later today." It could have gone worse.
Yeah. Here's the thing. When the Aiel were introduced, I was like, wow, the Aiel are fucking weird, but, you know, I kind of love them in their weirdness.
Yeah.
The Sunshine are fucking weird, and I hate all of it.
But it doesn't matter because the Sunshine are basically gone now.
God, I hope so.
Like, Robert Jordan kind of was like, I don't know what to do with them, so we're just going to wipe them off the board, completely off page. Well, we're never even going to meet them, so it doesn't really matter.
No, which is kind of crazy. I definitely thought the Empress would, like, be a character, but nope, she's dead. The entire
Long live the
family
Empress.
is dead. All of them dead. Tuan is the only one that's alive, and basically Shandar is in absolute shambles.
But let's get to that. Let's get through this first, because first Leandrin comes in.
Yes.
And Sarath is like, is Leandrin about to try and kill me? And Leandrin's like, no, I have a message for you.
A promise.
I'm not trying to commit murder, especially with your big-ass cat in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You want a low
I do. I would like a giant cat to ride around on. Then I wouldn't need to buy a new car. Well, we're in Canada. It'd probably be pretty cold. But anyways.
Chat, let us know in the comments if we should buy a new car. Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Almondaragle. Whatever the hell.
Almondaragle.
Amandaragle. I honestly, like,
Almondaragle.
I have, like, no idea. Like,
Yeah, I don't know either.
where is it?
It's a big cat.
Where's... Oh, Amandaragle.
You want to give that one? You want to give that one more shot?
Alamandaragle. Alamandaragle. There you go. That's it. Figured it out.
Anyone who gives their pet a too long nickname is a fucking monster.
Rude.
Pets should have short names. Because pets are stupid.
It should be named Alan.
You need to, like, drill it into them.
Should be Alan.
No,
Alan.
it should be Buttons. Or
Buttons.
Squeezer. Or...
Thor makes a good point. We should just get a Jaguar. That's a car and a cat in one. Right? Jaguars are super cheap. Totally affordable. Alan Mandragorg. Like, hey, but, like, that's also way too close.
But it is Alan Mandragoran. It literally is named after Lan.
Yeah. She's like, oh, Lan. He's just super hot. Are you Googling how much a Jaguar is?
I am Googling how much a Jaguar is.
Honestly, like, don't really want to know.
The Jaguar F-Pace, this is a nice car. That's the size we want.
Yeah.
I like that it says explore this vehicle. How much is this vehicle? It's only $65,000.
Yeah, only 65,000.
But look at the inside of it.
Yeah, okay. Why you do this to me?
Do you want to go way up in price?
Honestly, the red leather is slick, but
It's
I'm not paying thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars just for interior red leather.
That's a lot of super chats. It is kamikaze.
It's a lot of super chats.
If everybody in the chat right now gave us $10,000, we could afford a Jaguar.
If everyone bought a beanie right now, we could think about affording a Jaguar.
No. We don't, because
we could think about
our
it.
cut of that is not that high.
No, I know. That's why I said think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, we intentionally we don't actually make a lot of money on merch because we try and not, like, we can control how much our cut of it is. Mm-hmm. And so to keep our prices down, we actually, like, we take less than they actually recommend us charge because we don't want to. Yeah.
The merch is more for, like, it's for fun.
Yeah.
It's more for fun.
There's a little bit of profit on it, but honestly, like, they're like, charge this, and we're like, half that.
Yeah, if you're gonna be at Jordan Con, make sure you bring a beanie so we can all get a photo with the Siswaya Mommy beanies.
Why is this not working?
Why is what not working?
Everything, my life.
Everything ever all at once?
My life is not working anymore.
Apparently we should not get a Jaguar. Okay, sounds good.
Sure, whatever you say. So then, Surath sends Leandrin to get beat because she wants to, I guess.
Yep.
There's a lot of like dumb Sanchin stuff about like looking people in the eyes and stuff that I'm like, I'm over it. I'm done. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
It's so fucking cringy. I'm like, I hate the Sanchin. I literally wrote down Suroth does not like being perceived. Suroth is like, don't perceive me.
Short Bows, thank you for the Jaguar fund.
Thank you.
Appreciate that super chat.
Super chat. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
Damn, we need to stop talking about buying shit on
Roger,
this show.
I hate Bentleys. I think they're ugly as fuck, and that's my hot take for the day.
Okay.
Sorry.
Isaac Sheffer, thank you for signing up for the Jaguar fund.
Thank you for the Jaguar fund.
I love that people give us money when we meme about being... I don't know.
Like, we're gonna buy a thing, and people... For the cake! Also...
The lightsabers.
The lightsabers.
Oh my god.
Chad has funded lightsabers and cake, and is about to fund a Jaguar for us.
We're not buying a Jaguar. We're buying a Hyundai Tucson in like 3 hours.
Unless.
We need to go to a bank and get a draft. If we're doing that. All right. Suroth's point. God, we are still in the fucking prologue, and it's 50 minutes in. We need to get moving.
Sorry. Suroth does not like being perceived.
Suroth goes to see her generals, and the generals are like, yo, we're under fucking attack. This dude,
Teralda.
Fuck his name. He's really good. And Suroth's like, do you respect this man? How dare you respect an enemy general? And I'm like, God, Suroth, you're a fucking idiot. Of course you respect the man who's really good at his goddamn job, because if you don't respect him, he will beat your ass, which he is currently doing, you fucking idiot. I hate Suroth so fucking much. Okay, so she's like, send all the Rockin' to go find him. And I'm like, that's really fucking stupid. You idiot.
And the one person's like, as long as you don't take all the toe rock, whatever the other Rockin' are, that's fine.
Yeah, because he has a foot fetish, so he wants to keep the toes with him.
Yeah. I was not expecting. Okay. Anyways,
Suroth is upset because the White Cloaks have split up, and some of them are no longer loyal. But Asunua is still loyal, and so she's like, maybe I should just like turn him into a slave, which was not a thing I realized she could just do. But
it's the Sanchin. They can
they're great.
Do anything, pretty much.
And so
Dancy, thank you for the super chat for funding our Dodge Neon, our brand new car. Definitely not on like the worst cars list that I looked at last night.
Christian rapper, says she's Darkman, you're supposed to hate her. Give me a second for why I don't like this character. And we're going to get into it in this next section. She goes back to her room after being a bad general person. And Semiraj is there. And Semiraj looks really hot because she's on fire.
She's on fire. Yeah.
Thank you.
Super, super hot. Very spicy.
And Semiraj is like, you want to be Empress? And Suroth is like, nah, couldn't. That's not how this works. And Semiraj is like, no, you don't understand. The Empress, she's dead. And Suroth is like, okay, but then Tuan is Empress. And Suroth is like, I feel like you are not understanding what I'm trying to say, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Do you want to be Empress or not? And Suroth is like, nope, that's not how it works. And Semiraj is like, oh my god, you are the dumbest motherfucking human alive.
Yeah.
I am trying to tell you that I want you to be Empress. If you kill Tuan, I will make it happen.
And she's like...
And Suroth is like, it's not really how the Sanchin work. Like,
I don't know if I can say that out loud. I feel a bit weird about it.
Suroth, you pledged yourself to the fucking devil.
Yeah. You're gonna do whatever they want you to do.
Your Sanchin culture is below that. Stop trying to put it above that. That's not how this fucking works.
It was just very funny to read. Like, the Sanchin culture is so cult-like that she can't even escape it in the face of, like, a on-fire Forsaken being like, Empress? Thank you for that super chat. For the Tiger Fund, we're no longer getting a Jaguar, we're getting a tiger.
Are we going to be... Tiger King 3 will be about us and our tiger zoo in Ontario.
I would like a white tiger. I think they're really cool. And probably super cuddly. Father Cheersome, thank you for the super chat for your Yugo. I don't know what it is.
But, like,
I don't know what that is.
Sonic Sean has it. Is like, yo, Dark One. Not sure that's legal in Siandar.
Shandar, I think?
Whatever. This whole scene, I was like, Suroth, how fucking dense are you? Semiraj is literally like standing there being like, no, bitch, you're gonna be queen. And she's like, nope, that's not legal.
Ooh.
in my country. And Semiraj is like, I am from the devil. I don't care about the Sanshin.
Seraph literally actually is her.
Yeah.
Like girl.
This scene is, and I
take the win.
I want them to film this and it just be like the woman playing Semiraj is just in a corner being like, no, you don't. No, you. Oh my god! It started to feel like an SNL skit. Mm-hmm. Where I
thought it was very funny. I loved it.
You fucking idiot.
Yeah.
If I was Semiraj, I would have just killed her and just moved on to someone else. I'm like, do you want to be the fucking empress?
Well, she's like,
Sarath is dead because she's so stupid. Do you want just anyone with 2 brain cells to rub together can be empress because Sarath is a fucking moron.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, this scene was hilarious to me. Mm-hmm. But
Takuna. Maybe Sarath gets a lot of spam mail from African princes telling them about some unfound inheritance, and she fell for it once too much.
Damn, girl, I feel your pain. It's very unfortunate.
That's so funny. Do you believe Semiraj? Do you think that the Sanshin Empress and all of them are actually dead?
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah. I think that
it's a lot to introduce in the final 3 books.
It is, yeah.
If we try and
trying to go to the Sanshin land and dealing with all of that is a whole motherfucking beast. Mm-hmm. And I think it is easier just to have Semiraj be like, yeah, let the Lord of Chaos rule, motherfuckers. Pew 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 pew. And
Father Jerusalem, thank you for joining the Nargs for 6 months.
Jerusalem.
If we killed characters for being stupid, Min would be the only one left alive. No, Semiraj would be alive. Semiraj is super smart.
Semiraj hasn't done anything dumb yet, but yeah, Semiraj and Min is not the pairing that I would like. I would like Min to have somebody better. Min deserves it, you know?
I mean, Min's got Rand, and he...
Yeah, but Rand has done some dumb fucking shit.
Yeah, but he's given her that good dick, so
I'm just saying, if all the characters died for being dumb, Rand also is included in that.
Raja Lai says the Empress didn't live forever. May she live forever.
Yeah, she did. She did not.
Yeah. But also, oh my god, we'll get to it, but Bear Lane fucking clapping back at the Sanshin, we'll get to it. It's so good.
I was like, that's hot.
I want to be clear, I enjoyed this scene. I'm not shitting on this scene because it's bad. I'm just shitting on Sarath because this conversation with Semiraj was one of the funniest exchanges I've read in a while.
Yeah.
Of just one character trying to give someone power and then be so fucking initiated into a cult. Mm-hmm. But also they're initiated into a cult, but also they've made oaths to another cult. Sarath is into cults and she's
it's hard to balance cults.
But and the woman's I don't Sarath, just kill Tuon. Just kill Tuon, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I'm leaving because I'm gonna go. I need to leave.
But this whole section, I was like, wow, the Sanshin are so fucking weird.
They're so weird.
That is what this chapter demonstrated, and honestly, it did a great job of demonstrating that.
Yeah. It was great. And it also Semiraj is really cool.
She's scary.
I want to spend more time with her because I kind of hate the villains of this series. I don't hate them. I find the villains of this series very underwhelming, and I want to have villains that I'm interested in as villains. And right now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think the Wheel of Time has good villains. I think that is one of the weaknesses of the series. And
yeah.
I think that the best villains in the series are the ones that Robert Jordan hasn't spent any time with. And I'm worried that once we do spend time with them, they will be as kind of emaciated as the villains that we have spent time with, which we're gonna get to in the Forsaken chapter.
They're all interesting and they're trying to fight one another for power and that kind of thing, but none of them are really ever in that gray area. They're all evil as fuck. Even Aleda, who believes she's in the right, and I can understand why she believes she's in the right, is also evil as fuck. These people are terrible people.
They're all very mustache twirling. And
a little bit. To I think some degrees more than others, but
I would argue that Aleda is the best villain in the series.
It's honestly, I think Fane is, but we haven't really gotten.
He just comes in for one chapter and then he's gone.
That's what I mean. He's the one that I'm most interested in, and the one that we get the least of, which I think is a little disappointing, but it is what it is, you know.
Yeah, I wish that their plans, and it gets back to like this argument that I've had throughout all of these books, which is that the lack of military victories against Rand and Perrin and Matt means that none of the villains are very interesting to me because nobody's beaten them.
Yeah.
And, well, let's hold it for the second chapter because I want to have a long conversation about that when we get there. But we need to get through. We're still. This prologue is fucking so long, you guys. Pavara. Pavara's in the White Tower. It's been 12 days since Rand cleansed Sidon at this point, which I had to turn to you and be like, 12 days since what incident are they talking about?
What happened 12 days ago? And I was like, the cleansing.
Guys, Crossroads of Twilight is only 10 days, which makes sense because nothing happens in that god-awful book. We meet Sutama, the head of the Red Aja. She's newly instated. And she swears a lot.
She's like me.
She has a dirty fucking mouth for an Aes Sedai.
Yeah, she's kind of into it. It's like,
Which is just funny.
You live your truth.
There's a lot of times in this series where people are like, no, the Aes Sedai don't do things like that. We're going to have to beat that out of you. And then you actually meet any of the Aes Sedai, and they do all the things that Aes Sedai aren't supposed to do.
They do the thing, they change their behavior to get the shawl, and then they're like, fuck it, afterwards.
But they're always like, oh, the Aes Sedai are so calm and never have any emotions. And then every time we meet the Aes Sedai, they're like sobbing and screaming and hurling shit at people. They're using the power to smack people who don't have the power. Like the Aes Sedai are so overly emotional. But then in like the description, it's like they're so calm, cool, and collected. But then you meet them and they're like, why did you do that? Harry Potter, why did you throw that name in the Goblet of Fire? It's like that. The book says that Dumbledore was very calm, but then the movie version is the reality where he bursts into the room and throws a fucking trophy case.
Harry! Yeah.
Like the Aes Sedai are like, we're so calm, cool, and collected, but then if you talk to one for 5 minutes, they're like, do you know the Dragon Reborn?
Well, and this gets into the weird, like, I can read everybody's faces like an open book.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yes, the Aes Sedai are so calm, they don't show a goddamn thing on their face, but I can see the flicker twitch of their third eyelash. That means that they're nervous. Like, what?
Yeah.
What? Yeah, it is interesting.
But Pavara is an S tier character, you guys. Like Pavara is an S tier character.
Yeah.
She's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I love her.
She's great.
And I actually kind of like Sutama. Like she's like she's a pain in the ass.
No, sure.
And I think she might be Black Aja, but I was like, you're kind of fun.
Oh no, as a character reading it, I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. Let's go there, bud.
I just like the idea of this old woman having to come in and take over.
Yeah.
Because everything's kind of gone to shit. And she's just sitting behind this table like, you fucking idiots. All of you are fucking stupid. Aleda's a fucking dumbass. Fucking Galena's fucking dead. Fuck. And she's just it's just this old woman who's like, I just wanted to fucking retire. And you brought me out of retirement because everything is a disaster.
Everything is falling apart.
Yeah, I was like, Sutama, I get it, girl.
Get it.
This is a nightmare.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel ya. So, basically she reveals, that the tower is getting, obviously, information about the Black Tower and the bondings and all of that messy stuff.
Yeah.
And so to deal with it, she's like, all right, Pavara, your idea, let's go with that. You're going to go bond the Ashaman.
But we had the same reaction too, which is like...
We're like, so can you bond a person who is bonded to another person?
They don't know about that yet.
No, they do know that they're bonded, right?
No, they don't.
Oh, no, that they know that they're, like, working with them.
They know they've been captured. They know that not Tovanne, what was that woman's name?
Isn't it Tovanne?
Maybe it's Tovanne. They know they've been captured. No, we were both like, they're making plans to go bond the Ashaman, but they're under siege and they can't leave. Like, it just feels like there's a more pressing issue. Sutama's like, yeah, we're gonna go bond the Ashaman. And I'm like, you can't leave the city. You're stuck.
Well, maybe not anymore.
There's a problem between you and, like, I appreciate your forethought. I'm glad that you're thinking ahead. You can't go anywhere.
There's an army outside of
How the fuck are you planning on getting the entirety of the Red Aja out of the building that you're in?
I know.
You're under siege right now.
Yeah, but we were talking about this. We're like, can you bond a person who's bonded to a person? And then what if they're bonded to a person who's bonded to a person?
We talked about this and I forgot it. You forgot it? I forgot it.
Okay.
The girls, the hot threesome that Rand is the
what?
Rand's hot threesome of ladies.
Yeah.
Bond him even though he is already bonded to Alana.
Oh, yeah. No,
so
you're
they
right.
can bond the Ashaman. I don't know if they can do it against their will.
And that was also like a slightly different ceremony to include men. I have no idea. We'll find out, I'm sure. I don't think the book is going to leave us hanging on that. But it was, the question where I was like, can they even do that with the people who already have, like, Aes Sedai warders? I don't know.
I don't know either.
We're going to find out. We're going to find out.
Hannah Green says Rand was bonded by Alana against his will.
Yeah, we just mean that
but could
double
the
bonding.
next chain be done against his will? Or would the first bond protect him? But then Alana wouldn't have wanted the girls to bond Rand, so she would have used her bond to stop that. But maybe she was overpowered because there were 3 girls trying to like overpower her bond. The bond math doesn't make a lot of sense.
Bond math.
But like, if characters can bond people who have been bonded by other people, then like, could you end up in a scenario where everyone in the White Tower is bonded to everyone else by?
It's like cousins. You have a certain degree of removal from a bond from a person.
Honestly,
like that's my warder's brother's mother's father's former roommate. Like,
yeah. Once you get past a person can be bonded to more than one person, the math of it gets really complicated really fast. Like, it kind of spirals out of control into questions like how complicated can the bond be?
It just sounds like a bondage issue.
Slickjack says Min can't bond anyone. No, but Min is bonded. Min was part of the circle that she is bonded to Rand by.
She's bonded to Rand, but could another Ashaman bond her, who then is also bonded to an Aes Sedai, who is also bonded to an Ashaman? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how this works. It's very confusing, and I hope it's explained.
It's not.
Probably not.
I can guarantee you,
don't worry about it. It's going to be like a weird, like, decorum thing where you're not supposed to bond someone who's already bonded, so, like, they don't do it.
Well, and if somebody dies, the whole chain would be affected?
I don't know.
But, like, but here's the thing, right? So if you have a warder, and his Aes Sedai dies, the bond makes him want to kill himself unless you pass that bond off to somebody else. Right? But what if you double bound all the warders?
You double bound them.
You double bound them so that when one Aes Sedai dies, they still have a bond that keeps them going, and therefore nobody wants to kill themselves because everybody's double bound. And you daisy chain the Green Aja. Literally and physically. You do it with the bond first, and then you do it with your mouthpieces.
Your mouth
on the genitalia.
You didn't have to demonstrate that. We all understood exactly what you meant by that. I don't know if having another bond negates the feeling of loss of the first bond.
I'm just saying the math is very complicated at this point. But so the Red Asha decides that they're going to do that. It's not going to work for so many reasons. Because they're, as we're going to talk about a lot today, the Aes Sedai are arrogant and stupid because they make assumptions that aren't true based on information they don't have because they just think they're so fucking smart.
We already knew that.
I hate them so much.
That's not new information.
The Aes Sedai is like the worst organization in the Wheel of Time. It is the White Tower is the dumbest collection of arrogant like characters.
Samaraj and Masana really did a number on the White Tower. Like
but you and I talked about this. It was not Samaraj and Masana. They've only been around for like 5 years. This goes way back. This goes back way before them.
Sure. Look, the Aes Sedai were still kind of fucking silly in New Spring, but they weren't literally hissing at one another, like 20 years ago. Now they're literally like.
They kind of were though. Like Aleda was already kind of like and this is why
towards the lower downs.
When we were talking about New Spring, this is why my problem with the White Tower New Spring. Is that there isn't enough of a difference between where the White Tower is in New Spring and this for me to be like, oh, look at what Masan and Semiraj did. Because in New Spring, we watched Aleda beat the shit out of Moraine for 3 days, and there were no consequences for it. The White Tower was already an absolutely failed institution 20 years ago.
For sure.
And so Masan and Semiraj didn't have to do shit to ruin it. Like, it's like walking into a crumbling building and pushing a beam and the ceiling falls, right? And that's why I wish that New Spring had showed a White Tower that, like, was functional and had, like, a strong support system.
Maybe a little misguided.
So that when Masan and Semiraj show up, you're like, holy fuck, the Forsaken have fucked up this wonderful institution. Look at what they did to the shining example, as opposed to being like, Masan and Semiraj probably showed up and were like, well, this is going to be fucking easy. Look at this nightmare of a place.
Because they've only been out for, like, what, maybe, like, 2 years?
Like 3, I think.
2 to 3 years, I think, is kind of when they've been able to come back.
And so
to the world.
Robert Jordan, by not allowing the White Tower to ever have been like a really like good example of an institution, it takes away from Semiraj and Masana's accomplishment, because it wasn't that hard to do in the first place, right?
Yeah.
It was already kind of a fucked place.
Yeah, I think it would definitely mean it would have a different impact if the White Tower was much, much different in New Spring,
But it's a disaster there, so I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's a shit institution.
I mean, here's the thing. The Black Aja were still around even when the, like, Forsaken weren't around. But then I'm like, how did the Dark Friends get, like, commands and stuff if the Dark One couldn't really touch the world and his, like, Forsaken weren't there? Like, did the Black Aja just, like, sit around and, like, wait to get orders?
Look, I really don't know. I think it was just Ishamael was running everything. Maybe? I don't know. I just think that it would make me more interested in Masana and Semiraj if they had destroyed the White Tower from a place of like incredible unity to a place of destruction. But because the White Tower kind of starts at henpecking like nonsense, all they've kind of done is exacerbated a problem that was already there.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make them scarier characters to me.
That's fair, yeah.
It doesn't, like...
If it had been all their work...
Yeah.
If we had seen a White Tower 20 years ago and then this mess, and it was like, yeah, that was Semiraj and Masana, we'd be like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah, you'd be like, look at what Semiraj and Masana did, but now you're kind of like, yeah, it was a crumbling institution that crumbled.
Yeah.
And they helped it along. You know what I mean? It's more that they were like end-of-life nurses who like helped it die rather than the murderer.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how much influence and what orders like the Black Aja had during this time, or were they just like waiting?
But
I don't know.
But it's choices like this to me that undermine the villains of this series so much. In that none of them are ever given accomplishments that make us as the audience really fearful of them individually. It's just sort of this. It's just sort of this argument that, well, the Dark One just kind of touches the world and so things go bad, and none of the individual villains really matter. But because the Dark One isn't an actual thing that our characters can fight, it just kind of becomes like our main characters doing things and winning consistently over and over and over and over again without like any sort of... All of the climaxes aren't even against villains, really. Like the climaxes are... Like a lot of the big climaxes aren't victories over the bad guys. Yeah. In a series where there's a lot of fights against bad guys, a lot of the climaxes are Rand telling the Aiel the truth of their past on top of a mountain. Rand cleansing the taint from the one power by sitting down on the ground and focusing really hard. Like there aren't a lot of personal fight victories that make the villains interesting. I mean,
there were fights around that fight. Look, I'm not disagreeing with you that I think that the villains aren't the most interesting part about Wheel of Time. Like, that's, like, I think that probably a lot of people, that's not where they find the strength in the series. I think it would have been an interesting choice to have the White Tower, start from a place of strength and, like, be absolutely decimated by some of the Forsaken. It would have made them a lot more scarier and like imposing. But I do understand why Robert Jordan did write it the way that he wrote it. It just has like, I think, a different message and a different meaning.
Army says, we've just seen Semiraj claiming to have destroyed the biggest empire in the world 2 POVs ago. Great.
Claiming to,
yeah. She might have done something off page to characters we've never met before that we didn't see. It would be really interesting if that was like not the case, if she was like lying about it. It would be more interesting if she was lying about it, because if that's the
chaotic.
Case, cool. Like I don't care. Like I don't give a shit that she went and killed some people I don't know about.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't make her more interesting a villain to me, because did she kill them? Did she go kill a bunch of people in their sleep? Did she, like, what happened? And if she is so capable that she is able to cross the world and kill them in their sleep, or wipe out an entire nation, why the fuck is finding Matt Coffin so hard, right? Like, why is fighting Perrin so hard?
Ta'Viren.
And why are the villains only winning when we don't see what's going on?
Yeah.
All of their victories are off page. They're always like, oh, well, no, but like when you weren't looking, look at what they did. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, I would love to see that. I would love to like experience the villains of this series match our heroes so that it felt like when we get to Tarmangaden, the villains have a chance. Because right now it doesn't feel like the villains have a chance.
It just feels like the villains are more en masse, like, and like trying to like break down everything from the inside as opposed to like them being like scary. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is fine.
So where were we?
We just
we're still talking about, oh my god, fuck, we're not even halfway through the prologue.
No.
This prologue is so fucking dense.
There's a lot that happens.
It's so dense. It's crazy. There's so much in it. Pavara kind of like meets up with the girls who are on her team of like little her Scooby gang.
Her Scooby gang.
Yeah. Oh my god. Wheel of Time says we'll get there. Give it time. Dude, we're in book 11. Like we are in like word 3 million of this series.
We are a year.
I'm sorry, but like the give it time, it gets there. That's not a good argument for the villains being good.
I'm sure we'll get there, but yeah.
It's the same problem I have with like fucking Attack on Titan, where people are like, no. The end of season 3, everything makes sense, and I'm like, that's 70 hours of television.
I know.
Like, how the fuck are you arguing that like after 70 hours it makes sense?
Yeah.
Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you should like it based on the information I have, having seen the whole series, and not based on the information you have of only having seen season 1.
Yeah.
I love that for us.
Yeah. No, we'll get there, I guess.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Guys, I like this book.
Hopefully.
I'm not being negative. I'm just kind of like...
Yeah, so they meet up, and everyone's kind of been getting letters from the Raja about what's going on, Black Tower, all this like spicy stuff. And then Sean arrives.
No, Talene shows up first.
Oh, Talene
and is like,
first.
Yukiri reveals that Talene has a summons to stand before the High Council of the Black Aja in the house. And she's like, should I go? And they're like, we should all go, and we should fight them. And I was like, this prologue is about to have everything. And then they're like, no, that's a bad idea. And I was like, no, do the cool thing. I was so upset when she was like, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to fight the Black Aja tonight. I was so excited for this to be like a fucking like...
I was like, nah, they're going to get their asses kicked. So I'm kind of glad that they didn't, but it got a little spicy there for a second.
I wanted the basement Black Aja fight so bad.
The basement Black Aja.
Because it was supposed to be like in the basement. They were like, we're going to go down to the basement with her and it'll be 19 against 13. And I was like, let's fucking go! It doesn't happen. Instead, Talene runs away. She packs her bags and she flees. And then Sean shows up.
Yeah.
She has the same news.
Yeah. Same news, basically. And what's her name? Is like mad that she's like not more scared.
Yeah.
Oh, no, and then she has her big reveal. Oh, yeah, Aleda, you know the reason we thought that she's not Black Aja, well, that reason we don't have anymore because she actually asked me to find Alviarin's treason and not ferret out the Black Aja. So I misunderstood that.
Which is like the fucking...
Which is so dumb on Aleda's part, because how the fuck was Aleda supposed to know without expressly saying it? Like Sean also, is like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess I'll find the Black Aja. That's got to be what she's talking about, right? And Aleda was like, no, what? Like,
no, but here's my problem with it. These women have been on this investigative path for fucking weeks, and they have been, or I guess 2 weeks, and they keep hearing the Black Aja say that everything that goes through Aleda's office is somehow known by the Black Aja. And also, they have Aleda being like, I need you to investigate Alviarin. I think there's something up with Alviarin. And these 3 women have been talking about this night and day. And not one of them, for 1 second, is like, what if Alviarin is the Dark Friend?
They already know that.
No, they don't. That this whole thing, they start to think that Aleda might be the Dark Friend because they still won't put a single ounce of accusation towards Alviarin. They won't even think about it. They keep bringing up that they're like, oh, God, how does everyone in the, how does Aleda's office, everything that happens there, get to the Black Aja? If Aleda's got to be Black Aja, I guess. And they go back to that, and I'm like, or it's the other person. And these 3 women refuse to think for 1 second that maybe Alviarin was an evil person. And people keep being like, there's a dark friend in Aleda's office. And they're like, but Aleda's the one who sent us on this mission. It can't be Aleda. And I'm like, there's another person there.
Yeah.
There's a fucking other human in that office. And like the whole time they're like, but Aleda sent us on this mission and the Black Aja knows everything she knows. I don't understand how these two pieces of information go together. It's almost like there's another person there. It's so frustrating to read every time. I love Pavara. I love these characters, but it is frustrating to read these women be like, It's like Alviarin is like literally standing in front of them and they're like looking over here and then they're looking over here and then they're looking over here and they're looking over here and their eyes just don't catch the thing in the middle of those two ideas.
Oh, hey. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I get, yeah. You know what? It would be rude. It would be very rude of them. How unfortunate.
Which is interesting because you know what we cut to? Alviarin's POV. She's getting spanked. She's getting birched every morning. So
every day.
The spankings are back. And she's really humiliated. And that's it. That's her POV. Her life is miserable. She has been stripped of the Keeper Stole, and she's getting spanked every morning.
Yeah, sucks to be Alviarin, but I don't really give a shit because she's a terrible person.
And she also like finds out Talene has left and is like, I need to watch Dosain and Yukiri closer.
Yes, she does start being like suspicious. So,
but it's mostly just a POV to let you know she's getting spanked.
Yes, yes.
We cut to Perrin. Perrin, it's not really Perrin's point of view. I wrote Perrin's point of view. It's actually like Galena first and then Perrin. But Galena is riding alone in the woods, which they let her do.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as she comes... I think... Here's the thing. I literally think it's like to give her enough freedom that she like has the potential to fuck it up so that they can punish her more, which is exactly what happens. You know, you better be back before sundown. Oh, it's 30 seconds after sundown. Sucks to suck. And you're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's on a ride and she gets accosted by Gal and Grady?
Fager?
Oh, yeah.
Fager? I don't know how to pronounce his name.
No idea.
Fabergé Egg and Gaul just kidnap her, and she's like, what? It's impossible. There's no way they got this close because of the sentries. And then she's like, no, there's no way they traveled. No one knows how to do that. And then they're like, yeah, we traveled. And she's like,
what?
What?
In this economy?
Explain how that, what traveling has to do with the economy.
Traveling in this economy. Mm-hmm. It's very expensive.
That costs money?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For us, it does. What do you want from me?
I want you to, if you're going to say the joke...
No, it's funnier.
Use it when it makes sense. You just say it to make me upset.
Yeah.
The whole purpose is to make me upset. It's not even, you're not even trying to be funny. You are just doing it.
Chad is laughing. Very funny.
I hate it so much.
Comedy. Kevin Adams, thank you for that super chat. Narg is smart enough to have made that connection. I agree.
It's such an obvious connection.
And Karina also bought a Tucson hybrid, and they love it. So I guess we're getting
a Tucson in this economy. See, there it makes sense because they're expensive, and there's a financial cause.
But because it works, it's not funny. The funny part is that it doesn't work. And I also like to save it when you're like worked up, so that your face just like drops. You know.
So
it's great.
Perrin. So she gets taken back to Perrin.
We need a in this economy shirt design.
Yeah, we're going to. We're working on it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's you guys, but you guys only have to experience it like once a week in book club. I get it everywhere else. Like it's not. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Sometimes it's the last thing she whispers to me before we go to sleep.
I'm wearing him down.
Wearing me down for what?
I don't know.
To leave you?
No, I don't need to wear you down for that. I could just be like, bye.
Oh my god. So she comes in all bluster. She honestly puts up a pretty good face here. I'm honestly like, look, Galena's evil character, right? Pretty impressed with the way she manages to show up in this tent. She like gives like full Aes Sedai, and it makes some pretty convincing arguments as to why the parents should leave her and let her go back?
Well, I don't know. It's more like Aes Sedai business. These are not the droids you're looking for. And I was like, what?
But she's like, look, like I'm an Aes Sedai. I have a plan here, and I can get Fael out of their safe.
I'm not going to tell you what the plan is, though.
Well, she's like, yeah, that's confidential. But I think that, like, you know, considering how beaten down she's been, she shows up in this scene in a way that I was like, oh shit, like, Galena's a really interesting character.
Yeah, oh yeah, I will agree.
Like, her backbone, I mean, obviously, like, it gets a lot worse after this. And as much as, like, I'm like, yeah, the evil characters, the ones who are getting, like, abused in these chapters, it's still a lot of women being abused repeatedly throughout the writing of this. And it just gets more and more extreme as we kind of get through this book. But I just thought that Galena showed up in a way that, like, was very interesting to read. See, Sarmi says, yeah, but why does she want to go back? She wants to go back because...
For the rod.
For the Oath Rod, because she cannot live without ever being able to channel again. Yeah. And it is more important to her...
It would be like if she was stilled, almost.
It is more important to her to be able to channel in the future, because she's addicted to channeling, than it is to get away from the torture that she's under, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, it's a really interesting position that Rob Jordan has placed in the books about addiction and, like, the lengths that people will go in their addictions to, you know.
Yeah.
If we're going to use the one power as a metaphor for addiction, then this is a really successful POV about that.
Mm-hmm. The problem is she, like, tells, like, some outright lies, which she then realizes that she will have to kill Fael and the others to protect the fact that she is a dark friend. And is not under those oaths.
The most exhausting thing about being a dark friend, Aes Sedai, would be having to constantly be aware of the fact that everything you say has to appear to be true, because if you're caught lying, like, that to me would be not worth it. I'd be like, you know what, Devil, you know what, I would work for you, but, like, that seems like a lot of work. I don't want to try and figure that out.
Yeah, too much brain power for me. But good luck, you know, good luck on your endeavors. Wish you all the best. But yeah, we get our cover art scene, which, to be honest, the art for the cover of this book was severely disappointing.
Yeah.
That is not my Perrin. That is not what Perrin looks like. I refuse to believe otherwise. But it's there, and for some reason, that's the cover art that we went with.
Christian Rapper says this scene makes absolutely no sense. Perrin can smell when people are lying, but not in this scene, though.
But we don't get Perrin's POV.
But I would also argue that Galena might be one of the best liars in the world. That's, like, her job. And she's also, like, 150 years old and has been the world's greatest liar in all of that time because she runs the Dark Friends in the White Tower.
I honestly read this as I think Perrin knows exactly that she's lying and does not give a fuck. That's like, you know, let her believe that she's got the upper hand. And he's like, I'm still gonna go meet with the Sentry. We're gonna attack anyways. I'm not waiting on you. Like, he's not waiting.
But I also think that, like, here's the thing. I don't like it if Perrin's ability is omnipotent. I don't like it if it works on absolutely everybody. That nobody can, like there are people because there are people in the real world who can choose to what they answer on a lie detector test, right?
Right.
They are so in control of when they're telling the truth or not that they can and that's why lie detector tests are not infallible. But, like, if Perrin's nose is infallible about lying, that's less interesting to me than if it's really fucking good. But, like, if someone as practiced as Galena is in front of him, he doesn't know because she literally that's like literally her whole thing.
Scroll up for a second. Eric, thank you for that super chat. Leaders in dictatorships infight and betray each other constantly. Look at the Axis in World War II. They made the Black Hydra look functional.
That's fair.
Yeah. No, I think that's totally valid. It's just, it affects. We're just saying it affects our opinions of, like, the Forsaken. But going back to the lying thing, I think Perrin can tell when someone is being shady and not revealing everything. But I don't think he can be like, that's a lie, this fact is a lie, this is a lie. Like, he already knows that Aes Sedai already talk in half-truths and blah, 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 which is so close to lying that I don't know if he can tell the difference.
That's true. I don't like it if it's perfect. Anything that is unbeatable is uninteresting.
Yeah.
Right? There has to be, like you have to have flaws in the system in order for it to be fun to read. And so if someone as practiced at lying as Galena can't fool Perrin, then it just you just kind of like verge into like it's too magical for me. I need there to be some like I need the best sniffer to be beaten by the best liar, right?
Yeah.
And Galena would be one of the best liars.
And here's the thing. I didn't read in this scene that, like, Perrin knew exactly what she was lying about and how, but I have a feeling Perrin would have a general sense of mistrust.
Franklin Cheatham says, Sanderson Rule of Fantasy number 2, limitations are more interesting than powers. 100%.
Totally, yeah.
Like, no fantasy story is interesting until you know what the limitations of your characters are.
Totally.
Because until you know what the limitations are, there can... And this is kind of where our argument about Attack on Titan Season 1 came in, where I was like, until we know what, like, the upper limits of these characters are, we never know when a fight is actually over. So there's no, like, stakes in who beats... what, right?
Yeah.
You in order for a story to be interesting, there has to be exhaustion, an exhaustion point for the character's powers. Mm-hmm. And so if Perrin is just magically able to smell anytime any character has any emotion or lie or anything, you verge into I stop believing and I also stop caring because the stakes of any situation are gone because there's no like consequence, right?
It also kind of ties back into the fact that everybody can read faces, so it makes Perrin's ability less interesting.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, which sucks. I actually think it's like a really cool thing.
So all I'm saying is that I read this as Galena is so good at lying that she snuck past Perrin, and I like that. That made this more interesting to me that like Perrin met a liar who was able to beat his nose.
All right.
And that to me, I'm holding on to that headcanon because that makes this so much more fucking interesting.
Yeah.
That like Galena is just that good.
Yeah.
Is really fucking cool to me. Personally.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair.
I think that is cooler than Galena is that Perrin doesn't care that she's lying because he would care that she's lying, right?
Yep.
Like if he thought that she was lying about where about the girls not sleeping in the same place every night, then he would press her for information harder. He wouldn't let her lie about where she is in the camp, and he certainly wouldn't let her lie when she says that that she swore that she would tell Fael to be in that house.
Yeah.
He wouldn't let her go back if he was sniffing her line and be like, it doesn't matter that she lied. He would press her harder.
Yeah.
And so I like the idea that, and part of it is probably he doesn't think I said I can lie. And so she gets away with it a little bit with that.
Fair.
But I do genuinely believe that Galena is just so fucking good at her job, which is why she was the leader of the Black Aja. You don't get to be the leader of the Black Aja unless you are...
Is she the leader of the Black Aja? No, I think...
Well, she's the leader of the Reds.
She was the leader of the Red Aja.
Wasn't she in Alviarin's position before Alviarin?
In terms of the Black Aja?
I'm pretty sure Alviarin replaced her when Galena went missing. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Oh.
I might be wrong about that.
She probably is pretty, like, high up in there, yeah.
But if anyone can be that good, it would be Galena. And so... I think Dakunda just said that too. And so I like that. I like that Galena's competent. It makes her more interesting.
Yeah.
That she's... and this is my thing. I need some of these characters to be able to beat the main characters at things. I need some of the villains to be able to outfox Perrin's nose and to be able to outluck Matt. So that there is like a limitation on the victories that our heroes can have.
Yeah.
So that when they do win, it matters, as opposed to just always winning.
Yep. No, I think that's totally valid.
But so he lets her go back, and he basically says that they're going to attack because they can travel.
Yeah. She's like, what? Travel?
Yeah.
She's not, she's like, no, I don't believe it.
We're at the final POV of the prologue.
What?
Egwene wakes up in a carriage.
Yep.
I don't understand this at all. I don't really get what happened.
So they slap her around a little bit.
Yes.
And then they get to the White Tower.
No. The actual getting to the White Tower. Oh. So they knock her out in the boat and then give her fork root tea.
Yeah.
Shouldn't she be out for like hours?
Tervalon's pretty big.
I guess that must
Depends how much they gave her as well.
It's just that the last time we had the fork root tea, they were out for like a day, or they're at least overnight, And so now, like, this, like, her waking up, like, 20 minutes later in the carriage ride to the White Tower was weird to me. Because I was like, wait, why is...
It probably is just a dosage thing. Because, you know, they don't need to knock her out for 24 hours. And if they do knock her out for 24 hours, she's, like, useless the next day.
So have they been, like, testing this?
They probably.
Have the Aes Sedai been, like, testing dosages on each other? Because they discovered Forkroot tea, like, 2 months ago.
Yeah, I guess so.
Right? Like, the White Tower's only known about Forkroot tea since, like,
since that one girl used it on Nynaeve and Elaine.
No, they didn't find out about it until way later.
Well, because she told them. She, like, wrote about it. Use this thing to knock them out. And so I think that's when they found out about it.
I thought the White Tower didn't find out about it till way after that.
No, I think they've known about it for, like, 3 or 4 months.
They've been testing it unaccepted. That is so fucking dark.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wild.
That is dark.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, the Browns tested it, yeah.
Rantamar, this isn't a nitpick. What? God, people don't want you to talk about things. They just want you to jizz all over it.
We'll just read the book for you. How about
Knife of Dreams is really good. Bye, everybody. Great show. Thanks for being here.
This is why it's interesting.
I know. People are like, why are you talking about the things in the book in your 3-hour show where you talk about the things in the book? And I'm like, I don't know, because we're having fun.
It's fun. It's a good time.
Jesus.
We like it.
We're having a good time here. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know about y'all. But, like, since New Spring, I've been having a great time at book club. So.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole, like, testing
Kevin
thing,
Adams says they're microdosing the novices.
That's so fucked up. Like,
that's dark.
Yeah. I don't know.
Sex Monkey says that is never said in the book.
But here's the thing. Who else would they be testing it on? How else are they testing it? I mean, I guess.
I'm just like...
The Browns were like,
if I was the Aes Sedai, the idea of testing it would be so hard to swallow. Literally. Right? Like, can you imagine trying to convince someone in the White Tower, especially given how, like, fucked up the White Tower is right now, where nobody trusts anybody?
The Browns are just going to incapacitate themselves for, like...
Yeah, but, like...
For science? I mean, a Brown would do that, actually.
The warders are literally wearing their swords in the White Tower. Everyone is so on edge.
Aes Sedai are wearing their shawls.
And they're, like, Aes Sedai going around being like, hey, can I knock you out and take away the power for, like, 12 hours and hope that it comes back because we're testing dosages? Like...
Curiosity killed the Browns.
Curiosity killed the Brown is very funny.
Yeah, honestly, I guess it makes... I just assumed that, you know, they found out about Forkroot tea, you know, like, I don't know, like 8 months ago. But they gotta, like, get supplies to be able to, like, start testing it. So I don't know how much time they've actually had with it. But yeah, it seems like they're studying it.
But it seems like they must be... if they have exact dosages...
Yeah.
Then that means that they like, know, like, based on the weight of someone...
Yeah.
How much Forkroot tea to give them. And that just seems like... I don't know. It just seems like this kind of, like, popped up very fast, considering I feel like it would have taken, like, a year to convince anyone to even try it.
Well, if the Browns if they test it on themselves, they don't really have to convince anyone. They can kind of just do it. And if the head of the Browns is like, no, we're going to study this, then they kind of got to go with it. Arizu, thank you for that super chat. You guys always raise such terrifying questions. You're welcome.
It's because I'm a terrifying human.
Oh, God.
But yeah, no, it was just, I thought it was weird that she woke up so quickly. I thought she was going to wake up, like, in the cell the next day.
Yeah.
And she was just out for, like, an hour.
Yeah, no, she just got in the carriage, she woke up. They're all spicy with one another. Like, they don't like one another, but they also don't like her. They, like, beat her up a little bit, but only a little bit. And then, yeah, they get to the White Tower.
Yeah.
And, they take her to Sylviana, is her name? Right?
The fucking Aes Sedai are so stupid. Egwene is literally like, yeah, no, that's Leanne. And they're like, no, it isn't. Stop lying.
That's
and
Wilder.
Like, Jesus.
And it's like, okay, I don't know what to tell you.
Sure. Yeah, great.
Leanne got healed. And they're like, no, shut up.
Hold up. Let me just be honest with you for a second. But, like, you're going to just assume that I'm lying for some reason. Like, what a weird lie if true. Like, why would she lie about that?
If not true, yeah, it would be a weird lie. It's
just such a weird thing to be like, shut up, that's a lie. Or,
okay.
or maybe it isn't, and you need to stop assuming shit because it's causing you so many fucking problems.
Here's the thing. They all hate Egwene, right? And what Egwene stands for and what they've done to it. So they're just like, nah, fuck you, without thinking about it. But yeah, I don't know,
but it's
what
the fact that the
point of
Aes Sedai
lying
keep
would
doing
be.
things without thinking about it. That is my problem with them. Is that
That's Aes Sedai.
Like, thank God for the Salad Barbarians being like, at least they're like infighting, but at least they're somewhat competent. Other than the fact that they're not testing for male channeling everywhere. But like the fucking White Tower Aes Sedai are the most arrogant, egotistical ninnies ever.
Yeah.
And they are exhausting to read. I just hate them all for their fucking, like, stick up their ass. We're so fucking great that we're not even going to think that this woman who we just saw turn a fucking giant chain into Quendalar might know shit we don't know.
Here's the thing. The real enemy of the Wheel of Time is miscommunication and distrust.
But it's not even miscommunication at this point. It's them being like...
It's them being like, la, 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 la. Like...
This woman has just turned a giant chain into Quendalar in front of you.
Which is something you
watched
didn't
it
know.
happen.
Yeah.
And then you're like, but you don't know traveling.
They also
know...
They also know that stilling can be healed at this point.
But that's my point, right? Is you have this like these characters are seeing things happen in front of them, and they're going, yeah, but like that other thing you say isn't possible.
Yeah, no, they just don't like Egwene, and they're like, no.
And it's just all of them. The Aes Sedai are just the fucking worst. I hate them so. Like, I want the Sanchin to come blow the fucking tower down. I just want, like,
No,
I don't want
that.
I want the fucking volcano that is Dragon Mount to launch a piece of ash so large that it just crushes the White Tower and gets rid of all of these fucking people. I hate them. I just, like, nothing will drive me crazier more than people who are, like, so dead set on how incredible they are that they don't see other people.
America. Sorry.
Oh my God. That's fair.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah, so they go to Sylviana, and Sylviana is like, so you're not actually going to be punished for it. You're going to become a novice again. Because it wasn't your fault that they made you Amerlin Seat. And Egwene's like, no, I'm Amerlin Seat. And she's like, okay, spanking number 1. Would you like to say anything?
And Egwene's like, yeah, spank me.
Go for it.
And here's the thing. I think that, like, one of the problems with the Aes Sedai having one punishment for everything is that, like, after a while...
Spanking and scrubbing pots. And, working on a farm. Working on a farm.
We'll send you to a farm from us.
Send you to a farm.
I think that after a while, I feel like I would be like, okay, spank me. Like, what we've done this before. Let's get it over with. Like... How many spankings are you really going to endure before they kind of lose their power over you?
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, well, I'll have to get that later.
What is it?
It's the consultation I reached out to last night, but gonna have to deal with it later. Yeah. So then Egwene is like, by the way, just so everyone is aware, I'm a dreamer, and I had a dream, and the Sanchin are going to take over the tower. So do with that as you will. Good night. I was like, all right. Do you think it's real, or do you think she's like, I'm gonna fuck around?
No, I think she does. I think she's like, there's no reason not. Well, because she brings up Tualeda.
Yeah.
She does bring up. We know that she brings up Tualeda. So at the very least, we know that they're thinking about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And here's the thing: is the Sanchin are about to learn how to travel. So that sucks.
Yeah.
That's no fun. Definitely no fun. But yeah, she's like, I'm a dreamer, and they're like, we'll see about that.
See, Sting is bringing up something I was gonna bring up so soon once we got to it. What irks me is the Sanchin general with Perrin implying that somehow the Sanchin learned a fork root. They've apparently been growing heaps of it in like moments in a factory. How they control the growing time. See, Sting, I agree with that on so many levels. Like, how the fuck do the Sanchin have a, like, warehouse of fork roots somewhere?
I'm assuming that they have fork root over in Shandar.
They don't need it. For what purpose?
Well, here's the thing. If you mass...
Oh, actually, no, for the men. That's actually, it is brought up.
For the men. But also, you mass dose a population, and if someone who is affected by it, then you know that they can channel. Because it doesn't really affect people who can't channel very much at all. So...
That would actually be a way to find men who can channel.
Yeah, you ferret out people who can channel with the fork root.
So it's like the fluoride they put in our water for our teeth. But it's fork root.
Yeah. They microdose fork root to the entire population of Shandar.
Emrai says to punish the domain, but like they don't need. The problem is once the collar's on them, they don't need to punish the domain.
They can just make them do whatever they want.
And I feel like if a domain took fork root, the Suroth domain would feel it through the bond.
Oh, if they have the thing attached?
Yeah.
Probably.
So I feel like they wouldn't want to do that because it would hurt the Suroth domain as well, or Soldom, I mean.
Yeah. Would that catch the Soldom though? Because the Soldom are, so does fork root only affect people who can channel? Or does it also affect people who have the spark to potentially be able to learn to channel?
But they don't have the spark.
The Soldom?
Yeah, they don't have the spark. They can learn to channel, but they don't have the spark.
Well, sorry, that's what I mean by the... So
only powerful people have the spark.
You can either learn to channel, like you either inherently discover the power, or you have the potential to discover the power.
Yes.
So does fork root affect people...
Or does it not start affecting you until after you've started channeling?
That's what I don't know. Does it only affect you if you've ever touched the source? Like if you've never done it and you haven't touched it, and so like that.
But then wouldn't they? But then no, it can't be that because at some point in the Sanchin land, some Soldom has drank fork root tea and then they would have been affected by it, and people would have been like, wait a second, why is that person affected by this?
But that's
fork
what
root tea?
I'm saying. Maybe you have to have already touched the source.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Oh yeah, for fork root to.
I'm saying like it has to have been. You have to. It must be that you have a certain amount of ability or a connection to one power for it to work. Otherwise, at some point, they would have used fork root to figure out who can channel and not. And that would have spoiled the whole domain Soldom thing. Unless the Sanchin Empire actually knows the secret of the domain Soldom thing, we'll never find out because they're all dead.
They're all dead, so it doesn't matter,
Maybe, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Ultimately, I don't think it's going to matter all that much. I think that this is a like hand-wavy thing to like allow for certain plot points in the series to happen that is not very scientifically driven.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
No, and I'm not gonna like be upset about that, but it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm very curious as to how this works, you know. So we shall see.
We shall see.
We'll get to the Sanchin fork root factories later.
Lee Stein says, I thought it was only native to Ranland, but no, they must have it, right?
I don't know. We have not been told one way or the other yet. All we know is that
it is just
the
very
Sanchin,
funny to me that there's like a factory of it.
It's probably the Ogier Gardens. They made a garden out of it.
Already?
Well, they're Ogier.
They haven't been there long.
They have magical tree singing powers.
Look, if they were like, we need enough for like a few hundred teacups, I wouldn't think of it. It's the fact that they're like, we have a warehouse where we have so much of this shit that we can poison a lake. You know what I mean? It is the sheer amount. If you really think about how much tea you would have to put into to have it be a fucking lake, you're talking about so much.
Yeah, no, don't think about it. Don't think about it. Well, we don't know what the dosages are. They might be very, very low.
And maybe, but it's still a lake.
I know.
If they had a plan that didn't involve poisoning the entire lake that feeds into a canal, I wouldn't have thought so much about it. But like Seasting, I was like, how much fork root do the Sanchin have just ready to go at any given moment?
I wonder if we will find out. I'm not 100% sure. I think the Ogier can like sing like fork root trees. They just start springing up out of the ground.
Sure.
I don't know.
It was just that Perrin was like, we're gonna poison the lake, and I was like, that's fucking insane.
It's pretty wild, but like cool.
It's like when Boston turns the river in Boston green for St. Patty's Day. They dye the river and that flows through town green for St. Patty's Day.
They put dye in the river?
I mean, it's safe. It's not like toxic.
Okay.
It's just like a fun thing they do.
Okay.
Yeah, they do it every year.
Sure. All right.
Yeah.
Why not, I guess. Anyways, yeah, we don't really know about any of these things yet. I'm sure we'll get to it eventually.
I just can't wait. I cannot wait for them to have, like, tankers worth of fork root tea.
Yeah. They just start bringing in, like 18-wheelers.
Sorry, Chicago, not Boston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've never... no, I have been to Boston. But I was in Chicago for St. Patty's Day. I don't know why I said Boston. Thank you, Chad. But yeah, no, it's definitely a thing.
One of the Americas, you know?
Yeah. Chapter 1, we made it to Knife of Dreams. The book begins.
Let's freaking go.
We're hanging out with Swan. Swan wakes up from a dream.
Yeah.
Because Egwene was like, hey, I need you to talk to the girls. Let them know I'm alive.
Yeah.
Also, let them know, don't come for me. I'm fine. And also, meet me in Tel'aran'rhiod. Riyadh. We don't see the scene in Tel'aran'rhiod, Riyadh, so we don't know what was learned there. I do wonder if Siwan knows more than she lets everyone else know.
Maybe. I would not be surprised, but yeah.
Yeah. Rodney Straight says, is it the entire lake? I thought it was just the water reservoir. I'm not sure I understand what the difference between those two things is.
I don't know. Maybe there's a point where I don't know. Science, not where my brain works.
Yeah. No. So we don't actually see the scene in Tel'aran'rhiod, but we do see Siwan wake up in Gareth Bryne's tent. But she's not in love with him.
She's not in love with him.
She just goes and sleeps in his room when she's feeling a little scared. When the shit hits the fan, she's like, I'm gonna go sleep in his room.
She also, like, bonks her legs on every single piece of furniture in there.
I love this so much. Gareth Bryne sets up his furniture so that you cannot get to his bed if you're an assassin without, like, making a shit ton of noise. I was like, this is the most Gareth Bryne shit ever, and I am here for it.
Yeah. Also, I appreciate the VeggieTales reference. Thank you for that. I was like, Gareth Bryne is fucking goat. And Siwan gets mad for some reason and decides to unpolish his boots. Because, god damn it, you need to let me do that because I'm supposed to do that.
It's so petty.
I know.
I
hope he steps in it.
Sandan Glockta says, how dare him not even try and kiss her?
In this economy.
Stop it! I will turn this show around and we will start back at the beginning of the books and we will not get to Memory of Light for another year.
Don't threaten them with a good time.
We will not. No. They want us to read the end of those books.
That's true.
You'll have to go for another year without being allowed to post spoilers in the chat.
Yeah, that's true.
No.
Stop it. How dare he not kiss her? But she doesn't love him.
Brett Babinaugh was working. Thank you for that super chat. Was
Thank
working
you
and just
so
popped in.
much.
Here's to help with the Ford Windstar minivan.
Appreciate it. We're gonna need that for our large family.
Oh my god.
We love a good minivan. Does it have a DVD player in it?
Probably.
Great. I'm sold.
Actually, I don't know if they make the Windstar anymore. That might be an old one. That might not have a DVD player.
I have no idea.
Do you know the story of my family's DVD player in the van?
Oh, that it broke day one? Yeah.
So my family bought a van. Mm-hmm. This was, a decade ago. No, more than that. Oh my god, I'm so old. This was like 2 decades ago. We bought a van and it had a DVD player in it. And we went on one road trip. And on the way there, the DVD player worked. And then it broke. And then we never got it fixed. And so my parents paid, I think it was like a $2,000 upgrade for this DVD player to keep the kids in the back, like, distracted.
It wasn't under warranty?
And we never used it again. They never took it in. So we had a broken DVD player in our van for like the 15 years that my family owned that car.
That's tragic.
And it never worked.
That's tragic. We had a DVD player in our van and it pretty much exclusively just played Shrek. Which is why it's the movie that I have seen the most. And I'm not mad about that, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, she said, what's the problem, baby? And the problem was that there was no problem.
No, Swan has said, I don't know, well, maybe I'm in love. But wait, no, I'm not.
Our big project this summer?
Yes.
The thing that we're not telling everybody about yet?
Yes.
No in this economy jokes. It's going to be in everybody's contract that no one is allowed to do that.
I'm not going to sign a contract.
You have to sign a contract.
I don't have to.
I'm making you sign a contract.
Good luck with that.
And the only line in your contract is no in this economy jokes.
I guarantee nothing. I'm going to add extras just to
We're barely going to
you.
get any sleep. I'm not putting up with that.
Bethany, thank you for this super chat. Walking my dog through the woods after nightfall with my light broken and chuckling about your jokes is a surreal experience. Thanks for the entertainment, guys. You're welcome.
Thank you, Bethany. And Sammy.
Yeah. We appreciate it. Wait, so if Sammy's the cat, who's the dog? We want to know. Inquiring minds. Thank you for the super chat.
Oh my god, I hate this joke so much. And
I
now
know.
It's just like
the
problem is
it.
that the more I hate it, the more everybody uses it, which makes me hate it more, and I can't like stop myself.
I know, it's great.
I'm fucking weak.
Yeah.
So Sawan goes and meets with the ladies. Bionin and Nassau aren't there.
Uh-huh.
Curious. We'll find out about some of that later. And she kind of just tells everyone to chill, and they're like, okay. I guess we'll do that.
Calm down.
Yeah, and then Lelaine is like, you're going to help me be the Amerlin seat. And Swan is like, I don't want to do that, but sure.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. We don't learn who betrayed them, but I'm assuming it's
BNN.
I don't think it's BNN.
Why?
I don't think BNN would have known.
She literally betrays them. Why wouldn't she know? She's on their, like, council. She's, like... She didn't, like, swear fealty, but, like, she's, like, always there.
I think it's Nassau.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. I just thought... I was like, oh, it's BNN.
Wait, who was the person that Egwene replaced?
Replaced how?
In the last book.
Oh, the novice from her village.
Was it a novice?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
The novice. I don't remember what her name was. She's like the sister of somebody. Can't remember.
No, because BNN doesn't come back to Aleda and be like, hey, look, it worked. Aleda's pissed at BNN for disappearing on her and not doing more.
Yeah.
So I think that Nassau is the one that betrays the information about Egwene, about the Quendalar plan. But BNN is the one who goes back to Aleda afterwards. But I don't think they're the same. I don't think BNN did that, or else Aleda wouldn't be upset with BNN because she would be the reason that Aleda captured Egwene. Someone else betrayed Egwene, not BNN, in this instance, even though BNN has not been on Egwene's side.
I wish I had a list of people who knew about the Quendalar thing. Methany,
all the sitters do, so it could be Ramonda, it could be Lelaine, it could, like, any of them could be it.
Methany, thank you for the super chat. Dog's name is Shadow. Does that make me a dark friend?
Yes.
Yes, but that's okay.
Oh, we've known since episode 1.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We're on the same side.
New monkey bribe cake fund.
James Ross, thank you for that super chat. Guys, Monkey got a cake, and apparently it was very tasty. They definitely ignored my instructions while making it, though. It's fine. There is a picture somewhere in the Discord.
Michael says, I thought the betrayer was Nicola. No, Nicola left them a long time ago.
Nicola left before... So Nicola knew they were making Quendalar, but Nicola did not know that about this plan. The only people who knew about the plan is the people who were told right before
Nicola's the one that
immediately
left a while ago and is in the White Tower now.
Yeah, she left, like... a few weeks ago, but they've been learning how to make Quendalar for a while. But Egwene did not reveal the plan to change the chain to Quendalar until, like, the moment that she needed to.
Yeah.
Except to a very small group of people, and
the sitters all knew.
Yeah.
But my point is that BNN doesn't ride in like, why are you mad at me? I told you this was happening, and you captured Egwene because of me.
Yeah, because Nicola.
So there has to be another betrayer.
Yeah, Nicola wouldn't know the time and date that they were planning on doing it. She left too soon for that, and she was not in that circle. So I actually don't think it's Nicola.
There has to be another betrayer.
I think so.
Unless BNN is hiding that she's the betrayer, but that would be weird to me. I don't understand why that would be the case.
Yeah,
Yeah, and so that's kind of the first chapter. It's really just a lot of, like, passing around information and finding out that Faolain has kind of been tortured by Lelaine for a while because even the good guys just torture each other for information in this world.
Yes, if you don't like violence against women, don't read this series because there is a lot.
Lelaine is like, I guess I can let Faolain out of captivity now. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, everyone kind of sucks a little bit. Yeah. So.
Yeah. The Aes Sedai all suck. I literally hate this.
Maybe it is Lelaine
I hate the Aes Sedai so much.
Well, no, Lelaine is a blue. I feel like there's no way that Lelaine
but BNN's also blue.
BNN? No.
BNN's also blue.
No, she's a gray.
Oh, right.
BNN is a gray. It feels weird that Lelaine would be a betrayer as also, like, a blue Aja, unless she is a dark friend as well.
No, Lelaine wants to be Amaryllis Seed.
Yes.
Lelaine is just greedy. I don't think Lelaine is evil.
I don't think Lelaine did. Yeah, I don't think Lelaine is the one who betrayed. But she definitely has her own, like, motives and shit. So.
Oh, oops.
Oops, excuse me. What?
The title of the video is wrong.
Oh. Through chapter 15. Oh my god. I
fixed it. Don't worry about it.
Nobody saw that at all. Ever.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I fixed it. I think it's good. I don't think it's BNN because Aleda's mad at her when she shows up. If Aleda were not mad at her when she showed up, I think it could be BNN. But because of Aleda's reaction, I feel like there has to be another betrayer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of BNN, chapter 2, The Dark One's Touch. BNN is evil. BNN travels with her warder to the tower. She disguises herself so that she can get into the tower, and she walks in on Aleda and is like, "Ha, it's me!" And Aleda's like, "What the fuck?" And BNN's like, "What? I did a lot of things. I, like, got people to hate each other. I didn't do that much, but, like, it's all good now, right?"
I did the best that I could, kind of. And And here's the thing, she definitely redeems herself because she teaches Eleda traveling.
Yes. And also, like, how to invert weaves, how to hide that you're using the source. Like, Eleda now
Maybe how to make Quindalar. I don't know if BNN...
No, BNN doesn't know how... BNN's not able to do that.
Okay.
I think she makes it clear that she doesn't know how to do that.
She reveals many things that should not have been revealed.
But now, that siege that's going on, totally pointless. So I'm not really sure what we're going to do about that.
No idea.
Because now the whole point of the siege... great.
I genuinely don't know what's gonna happen. I think they're gonna sit there, both of them, until the fucking Shanshan show up and murder everybody. Like,
I just hope it's fast. There's a lot of characters sitting in places right now, and I'm hoping that even like the parent stuff, they're still talking about acting, but they're not doing it. And they're like, we'll push off another week. But Crossroads of Twilight was only 10 days as a book. Yeah. So I'm like, please have the end of that week be in this book. I
was hoping it would be like a double fake out, but I think the revealing how to travel and stuff means that BNN is very bad.
Oh yeah, BNN's definitely bad. But also, like, now Alviarin isn't the only person in the White Tower that's going to be able to travel, and it does mean that the siege is basically meaningless. Much like the siege on Andor is basically meaningless because Elaine can just open gateways and get food in. The White Tower is now in the same position where, like, the siege does not matter anymore.
Yeah, freezing the gates doesn't,
Gareth Bryant's whole thing is kind of wasted. And so I hope it still matters because we spent so much time getting here with it.
Yes.
That I hope it still amounts to something. Otherwise, fuck, why did the slog have to, like, get into so much detail if ultimately the story was like, but then the other side learned traveling, so it didn't matter?
Yeah.
Is like, well, okay, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, I guess. I don't know. It was very unfortunate. I'm like, okay, well, this changes everything.
Mm-hmm.
BNN sucks. Fuck that person. And her poor warder doesn't even know what's going on. He's like, are you going in there to kill her? BNN is like, shh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And so that's kind of it. That's what happens in chapter 2. Yeah. Honestly, the prologue was so dense, and then the chapters themselves are kind of like characters finding out information from the prologue we've already talked about.
We forgot about our favorite quote.
What?
Small courtesies were the lubricant of daily life. Page 116. Guys, this is my favorite quote ever in the Wheel of Time.
Guys!
I'm done.
Guys! Lube confirmed in the Wheel of Time.
Yes, lubricant is very good in daily life. Yeah.
Yeah, small courtesies are the lubricant of life.
Of daily life.
Daily life.
It's one of those things where it's like
such a good quote. It's so funny. We both died at that.
I know. I'm gonna get that as a plaque on our wall.
Mm-hmm. The other thing in that chapter is that Matt and Stepanios, the king that disappeared
Stepanos, yeah.
Stepanos? It's Stepanios.
Stepanios.
I mean, there's an EO.
Oh.
Matt and Stepanios.
Fair enough.
Matt and Wears Pantyhose is he didn't like run away. He was kidnapped before Rand showed up.
Yeah.
Because Rand thinks he like ran away from the fight, or that Samael had killed him.
Yeah.
No, Eleda had him kidnapped.
He was kidnapped. Eleda didn't. Alviarin did. And she's like, but I'm going to pretend that it was me and that I did it purposefully to save his life so that he trusts me again.
Oh, I missed that.
I'm pretty sure it was Alviarin.
Cool. That's interesting. I don't imagine that Eleda will be able to retake Ilion.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I'm curious to see how this plays into the future books, but it was cool to be like, oh, that he's not dead.
Came back. He's here.
He was fine the whole time. He was just like bundled away on a boat for the last 3 books.
Yeah.
I wish I could have been bundled away on a boat for the last 3 books.
Poor guy.
Chapter 3. At the Gardens. The Forsaken all show up in Teleran Riyadh, and a reveal is revealed that I hope is a lie, because if it's true, wow, we went with the least interesting thing possible.
So Arengar is A, horny, and B...
very horny!
And B, thinks...
her pussy is wet!
Yeah. I love that it's like her appetites didn't change, they only expanded, and I was like... And also, Morden is maybe Ishamael, maybe.
Guys, the fucking Ishamael reveal, it kind of sucks.
I hope it's not true.
I hope it's not true.
I think that him being Ishamael is just less interesting. So,
yeah.
That's just our opinion
The
on
Olive
it.
Gardens chapter. Yeah. Partially because revealing that it's Ishamael by Arengar just being like, it's probably Ishamael, would be a very uninspired moment to reveal it. But also, Ishamael just was never like that great a character to begin with.
He was never that interesting. Back when we were reading books like 1 through 3, we were like, yeah, Ishamael just kind of does the same thing over and over again. He's a little insane, and like we don't really give a shit about him.
And he just keeps like getting his ass kicked.
Yeah, so bringing him back, I don't love it, but
yeah, I was just kind of hoping it would be anybody else.
He also like didn't have the saw in his eyes when he was mad.
Well, he has a completely new body.
Yeah, but the eye thing is because of the true power. So if he was mad because of the true power, then he should have had the thing. I don't know. I honestly, I hope it's not a Ishamael.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say.
I don't like it if it is.
Yeah,
I don't think it is because I think that
revealing it like that would be kind of like
revealing that would be kind of and also like. Ishamael as a villain doesn't like do anything for me. We've beaten him so many times.
Yeah, him coming back as a person who looks different and is called the Nipples is kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I hope it's not him. I think it's not him.
I hope Arengar's just wrong.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of stuff being deleted in the chat, so something's going on. But yeah, I don't know. I did not like. I didn't like it. Sam, I am. I do not like green eggs and ham.
Yeah.
And honestly, this whole chapter, I enjoy being with the Forsaken.
But
this chapter was a little bit of a letdown in terms of like showing us their point of view, in that they're kind of like they never bring up any sort of consequences of the taint not being on the male half of the power anymore. And it is so strange to me that this like titanic shift in all of their lives has happened, and it is not relevant to this discussion at all.
Yeah, it doesn't really come into play, which is interesting.
It happened over a book ago, and it has not really factored into any character's decision-making yet. And it is so weird to me because in the moment, it felt absolutely massive. And we were set up as to why it was massive to the male characters, right? They're told like, well, the Dark One isn't going to trust you anymore. And Demandred looks legitimately scared in that moment.
Yes.
In the previous book.
And then we're kind of like, we're not going to deal with that
And
right
so
away.
now it's the first time we've seen them since their lives have all changed absolutely in this huge way. And the biggest change in their lives doesn't come up at all.
No.
It's not relevant to the discussion.
The chapter is Arengar is horny. And
Morden might be a Ishamael, and
go kill
this
the
is
boys.
what Perrin and Matt look like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you put in this massive thing, and then I'm just waiting for some character to be like, this mattered.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, yes, Masana went through an awful thing because of it. I understand that, like, there were some consequences to that, but I want Demandred to talk about what it's like to use the power.
I don't think the Masana thing was about the cleansing.
It was because she didn't show up for it. That's why she was punished.
Didn't show up for it, but not that the taint was cleansed. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
This was 12 days ago. This is the first time they've been together since they got their asses kicked.
Well, we don't know. Well,
they all showed up. All of the Forsaken showed up to an event.
Or Singar. Oh, you're saying 12 days ago they all showed up except Masana.
This is the first time all of the Forsaken have been together since 12 days ago. The good team kicked their fucking asses.
Yeah.
And none of them are like, hey, we're losing. They're still so confident in themselves. And like, it's not even brought up that 12 days ago, they all showed up, the most powerful channelers in the world, and fucking lost. And nobody mentions it. No one, Morden.
No, I think Morden is like, oh shit, that didn't go very well. Tarmangaden is coming and we need to get rid of the Taviran.
Sure, but there's no
that
conversation
might have been
about
spurred by it.
Like it is very strange to me that it's only been 12 days and it's this first time these people have been together and they're all
And
just
they're not
kind of
talking
like
about it.
and they're
Yeah.
the taint doesn't come up, the event doesn't really come up other than Masana not being there. Like there's so much that has happened for these characters and the blow to their ego should be so massive in that they lost to these primitive fucking people who know nothing compared to them. And this should have rocked their shit. They should have shown up to this meeting and been like, what the fuck have we been doing? We're getting our asses kicked. 4 of us are in new bodies because we've been killed and had to be brought back to life. Guys, we have been fucking rocked by this. We need to change our strategy. We need to learn from our failures and become better to like win at Tarmangaden. Mm-hmm. And instead they'll show up and they're like, don't fight Rand, fight these 2 fucks. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. We're all exactly the same. This hasn't changed our point of view at all when it should be the most devastating loss they've suffered in 3,000 years. And so this whole chapter was just so casual. It like the worst loss the darkness has faced in 3,000 years happened 12 days ago, and they were all present for it, and they were the ones who got their asses kicked. And this scene was so pedestrian.
It's true. I did expect this scene to have like a fire under its ass.
Yeah.
Because of it, and it did. It felt very like. It felt a little bit too casual, I think.
It felt like a cocktail party. Like
happened.
they're literally like having drinks.
The Olive Garden party.
Like this should be red alert. And it's literally like
they're like, nah, you know what?
What did you order?
Gotta go take care of Matt and Perrin.
Did you order the soup or the salad?
But they don't know that
Do you want to go have sex later?
Yeah, basically.
But they're literally like, they just got their asses kicked and they're literally like, I'm going to flirt with Grendel today, I think. That'll be fun.
That'll be fun.
And I'm like, what are you guys doing? This is your worst case scenario just happened. Why are you all so fucking casual about it?
And like, none of them have been like punished by the Dark One for losing. Like, Masana was punished for not being there.
Yeah, 100%.
But also they lost to feel like the Dark One would be like not super happy about that. Anyways.
It's just it was strangely like unmotivated.
It was odd. Yeah, I think the tone of it was very odd considering what had happened. Like, even if we had only gotten Arengar's POV and like it was constantly on their mind while in this room of people who were pretending that everything was okay, I think would have been okay. But I don't know, he doesn't even really like think about it.
Yeah.
Osengar is gone. They don't know that Osengar is dead.
The most things that he's like, I wonder if Osengar died there.
Yeah.
Oh, well, doesn't matter either way. Like, it just was... I was so excited for this chapter, and when it started with Dark Friends, the Forsaken are gathering, I was like,
we know.
Oh, shit, so much is about to happen.
No, and then nothing kind of does. They have met since the cleansing, because Arengar is like, Osengar wasn't at the last one.
That was the...
No, Osengar showed up to fight at the cleansing. So they must have had another meeting in
that
these 12
sucks
days.
Then, because then you're telling me that the more interesting version of these 2 meetings happened, and this is the one that we got.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I found this scene to be the first time these characters have been gathered together since this tragedy for them.
Yeah.
And there's almost like no perspective in it other than being horny. And so when I'm talking about like the villains feel weak to me, this is a scene that could have bolstered them. Like if you show the Forsaken show up and it is red alert and the losing at the taint has fundamentally changed them and pivoted them towards wanting to have a better strategy going into the end game, I think that you have this incredible moment of showing the dark forces realizing, hey, these primitives are worth an actual fight, and we need to get our shit together. That's so much more interesting than whatever this was supposed to be. And this whole chapter, none of it worked for me. I don't like the Ishamael reveal. I like everything, every other chapter of this book so far. I know that like people call me negative nerdy, whatever. I don't fucking care. Every other chapter of this book so far, there's a lot of stuff I like in it. There's a little bit too much violence towards women for my taste, but there's a lot to like in all of it. This was the one chapter where I was like, I should have been so excited to get to the end of this chapter and learn all these things about these Forsaken. Yeah. And instead I got to the end of it and was like, really? That's where they're at right now?
It felt like a low limp noodle, especially when I opened the book and I was like, oh shit, the Forsaken. Yeah. Like I was like, this chapter's gonna be juicy. And then it wasn't really. Like I read the Ishamael thing and I was like, what? And that was about it. And then I was like, no, that can't be. But yeah, it was fine.
Yeah. That's
what we learned. The boys are back. They're gonna go get rid of Taviran, Perrin, and Matt. And speaking of, next chapter is Perrin? Pretty sure it jumps straight to Perrin.
Yeah.
And Perrin's just looking for his wife. That's more of this. I'm really...
No, this is a massive chapter. What are you talking about? Berlaine
I know.
has the sickest burn in the entire fucking series in this chapter.
I know.
Berlaine is ice fucking cold. She's not even supposed to be talking, and she's like, no, Perrin, don't worry about it. I got this one.
Yeah, Perrin is like, Aram, you need to wait over here because
you're so hot-headed.
You're too much, and I don't want Masima finding out because now y'all are buddies.
Perrin and his team are meeting with the Sanchin in the woods to work together to fight the Shido.
Yeah, I love that Perrin's intimidation tactic is to have the Two Rivers longbows like shoot a piece of wood from where he is.
Yeah, and it's fucking rad. It's so cool.
No,
This whole chapter is rad because it shows like an uneasy alliance with the Sanchin that makes sense based on their individual desires, right?
The Sanchin don't want to apologize.
And Perrin is like, look, like if you're gonna work with us, you leave our channelers alone. We're not gonna fuck with your domain, but you leave our channelers alone. And he has a strong enough position that the guy agrees with that. Like, Perrin here shows we see a lot of Perrin in, like, him being a lord through charisma of, like, people wanting to follow him.
Yeah.
But we don't see his intelligence very often. And this was a chapter that leaned so hard into Perrin's intelligence.
Yeah.
And I fucking loved it. It was so, like, after the Forsaken chapter, getting back to, like, the version of Perrin that's one of my favorite characters in the next chapter was such a highlight because I was like, fuck yeah, Perrin, you're smart. Use your brain.
Yeah. And I think that, Berelain did what she was not, like, supposed to do in that moment, but I think Berelain did it purposefully.
Oh, but it's such a sick burn.
To give that, like, opposition of, like, no, you're going to want to deal with Perrin.
Yeah.
Because, this is how the rest of us feel, so you better watch out.
So they ride up, the Sanchin come and meet them. Everyone has too many people in the woods. They're like, you brought too many people. Well, you brought too many people. Well, let's hope no accidents happen. And then Perrin is like, shoot my wood.
Giggity.
And thank God those long bowmen are that good.
Thankfully, yeah.
I was like, fuck, those Two Rivers boys can fucking
300 paces.
Shoot a squirrel out of a fucking tree at fucking a mile away.
Yeah, basically.
And then the Sanchin are like, well, we don't really need you for this. That's a lot of people. It's going to take us a few days. We're going to do this by ourselves. And Berlaine is like...
No, she's like, it'll take months to get forces together.
I heard the ever-victorious army lost. Guess that name is not true.
Yeah.
Guess you're going to have to rename your army, you fucking losers. And the Sanchin guy's like...
It's like...
We didn't lose. We strategically retreated.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Strategically retreated. And so, Perrin's like, hey, who was in that camp? Savannah. And they're like, oh, actually, if we bring Savannah's head back, that looks pretty good
Sarath
for
will
us.
be pretty happy.
That looks pretty good for us. So,
but we
let's figure
can't,
it out.
we don't have the numbers.
Yeah.
There's no way we can do this.
Because Perrin's like, just so you know, they have about 400 wise ones.
Yeah. And they're like, fuck, that is a lot.
No, actually, we're good.
You know what was a detail I really liked?
Yeah.
Was the Sanchin being like, yeah, people keep talking about these wise ones who can channel, but the ones that we run into, what the fuck is this? Like, and Perrin's like, yeah, no. Savannah kept the ones that could channel with her.
Yes.
And that was like that was a fun little detail that the Sanchin are like, yeah, they keep saying this, because from the Sanchin perspective, they're like, wait, if the domain can all channel, there's no such thing as the domain who can't channel.
Yeah.
And they're so confused by the wise one thing that they don't understand that it's like a cultural difference.
Yeah.
But it was just a nice detail in the book that I this whole chapter, as much as I hate the Sanchin and I don't want Perrin working with them because they are bad people, this chapter was handled so well, and it's written, like, this whole conversation is so fucking good that, like, I just loved it. I love Berlaine being snippy. I loved Perrin calming things down. I love Perrin waiting until the Sanchin turned to leave and not help them to be like, I actually do have a plan.
Yeah.
Because it's a strategy of make them turn back around to you because they've already left once. It is harder to leave a second time once you've turned around a second time.
Yeah.
You want, when you're negotiating, you want the other team to get up from the table and get back down to the table because you have more attention the second time. And so he waits until they decide to leave and then decide to turn back around to listen again to lay the plan on them. Like, it just shows that Perrin, the blacksmith tool thing that they keep talking about, Perrin is so fucking smart. And when Robert Jordan, like, writes that element of him, it is such a joy to read.
Yeah. Oh,
and,
God,
like,
yeah.
This chapter was a joy to read because Perrin is, like, negotiating at a high level and fucking rocking it.
Yeah. We also get another, like, dragon prophecy kind of thing.
Yeah. I have that.
Oh, yeah. When the Wolf King carries the hammer, thus are the final days known. When the fox marries the raven and the trumpets of battle are blown. Obviously, that's Tuana and Matt. But yeah, the Wolf King. That's a fun name for Perrin. Perrin's like, yeah, Hopper's gonna laugh his ass off at that.
But also, I love that Perrin isn't like, that's not me. Perrin's like, oh, fuck, that's me.
He's like worried.
Perrin knows.
He's worried that it's him. Yeah. He's like, it should have been the young bull, not the Wolf King. He would have been like, oh, fuck.
No, but I sometimes I think that there's a point in a series where characters have to start believing in the prophecies about them, or else it just gets silly that they're like, it's book 11, they're like, couldn't be me. That's got to be someone else.
Couldn't be.
Perrin's experienced enough at this point. He's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Is this shit about me? God damn it.
Yeah. But yeah, so their plan is to get a bunch of fork root tea from these, like, warehouses and such that the Sanshin just have in Medicia, I think. And
this made me giggle. I get it, whatever. It is fine. It's not like a bad. It's not. I'm not like knocking it. But when I was reading this, I was like, the plan is to feed enough tea into a fucking lake.
Yeah. Nerf the channelers.
The Sanshin are like, yeah, we have enough fork root to poison 100,000 people.
That's what I mean. You only need a teeny little bit, I guess.
It is so many people.
Here's the thing.
And
you say lake. The lake could be the size of Lake Ontario, or it could be like, 30 feet across.
But do you know how much tea you would have to put into a 30-foot lake? If it's the size of Lake Ontario, it's literally impossible.
I don't know if they know either.
Like, the cost of...
It's a lake by IEL standards. It's a puddle. It's actually a puddle.
There's an aqueduct from it. Like, it is large enough that there's an aqueduct miles away. So this is massive.
Yeah.
Carl Sanders, don't drop the S's. They'll time you out for it.
The spam makes it harder for them to click and just get the spoilers away, but I appreciate you trying to help us.
Scungy said, the people are saying they're putting in the aqueduct. Guys, they're planning to poison 100,000 people. Like,
yes.
I don't care what part of the water they're putting the fork root tea into.
It is still
There's
100,000
IEL.
Yeah.
Sand says, think about the size of a water tank. No, you guys need to think about how much water needs to get to 100,000 people. It is an insane amount of tea.
Yeah, don't think about it.
Yeah, like, you can't think about it. It just, when I read it, I was literally I was like in my chair laughing at the idea of them. Brian Telmore says poisoning an aqueduct makes no more sense than poisoning a small lake. I agree.
It's a body of water that is enough to support 100,000 people. It's definitely not a small feat.
It's massive.
But don't worry about it. Hannah Green, thank you for that super chat. It takes the same amount of fork root to poison a lake as it does fireworks to blow a human-sized hole in a wall.
I would argue the fireworks make more sense.
Wow, you heard it here first, folks.
If it's 10 grams per person, 100,000 people is just 1,000 kilograms.
That's fine.
That's tons. That is literally tons of tea.
It's no big deal.
But you also have to think a lot of that water is going into like laundry and stuff. Like the amount of water being pulled from that. It's not like it's not like they're gonna one at a time go up and drink from that tap.
Yeah, Rantamore, thank you for that super chat. Even 1,000 cups of literal water is too much.
Like it is just Perrin's plan is so fucking insane that I put the book down to like cackle about it.
To dodge neon-sized amount of tea. Why?
It is so insane to think we're going to gather enough for a group to poison 100,000 people. Look, I'm not saying it's bad. I don't care. It's going to happen, whatever. Or it's just not going to work. And which is the most realistic thing, is that it doesn't work. But it is just...
they might need like a milligram.
It is just a hilarious thing that Perrin was like, what if we poisoned 100,000 people?
Yes. And make sure they all drink at the same time.
Yeah!
Look, I love it. It's bonkers. Don't think about it too much. But I actually love it. I love this plan. I think it's going to be absurd when all the wise ones just start being like, whoa. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
James R. says it's also really cold water, too. They bring that up in the book. They're like, we need extra tea because it's cold water. Like, even the book is like, the logistics of this are not great. But whatever. We're moving on. It's just so funny. It's not bad. I'm not, like, shitting on it. It's just, reading it, I was like, the fuck you are.
It's funny to think about, you know?
Yeah. And so, with that insane plan in hand, they shake hands.
They shake hands. Oh, wait, there was one more thing.
Oh, Perrin reveals a piece of paper that he stole from Massima.
I was like, no, wait, there's another thing.
Because you were like, Perrin doesn't have that. Because
I was confused. I was like, I know this piece of paper exists, but I can't remember who had it. And yeah, it was Perrin got it from Massima. They stole it.
I didn't even think about this. Embryce, Morgase can channel. Morgase is going to get knocked out by this.
That's gonna suck.
No character has ever been shit on by a series more than Morgase. Morgase is the most, like, fucking, like, shit on character in anything I've ever read.
Yeah, poor Morgase. She gets, like, the short end of the straw every time.
She's been, like, literally raped by multiple characters. Has had her mind fucking, like, taken from her, was fucking, like, forced to run naked through the snow for hours, has been whipped, beaten, like, and is now under threat of being raped at all times, and has to have someone literally protect her 24/7 because the Shido are falling apart. Like, Morgase has the, like, weirdest fucking dark storyline of any character in anything I've ever read.
Yeah.
If she just dies at the end of this, and there was no point to all of this, it was just to watch his character be fucking, like, dragged through the mud for, like, 7 books. What the fuck is going on with this?
Yeah, that's rough, buddy.
Yeah. So we're with Faile now. Faile is just dealing with Savannah's bullshit.
Basically.
Savannah wants 12 people when she's sleeping in case she needs anything, because she's a fucking disaster of a human.
She just needs attention at all times. She's a theater kid. She's like, if I can be observed by this many people at all times, I will do it. She's like just striding around naked, like picking out her like jewels and stuff. And Faile's like, it's so embarrassing for me.
I know.
Yeah, Savannah is the worst. The worst of us.
Despite being the worst, Savannah is complaining that Galena is getting punished too much.
Yes, because Galena got absolutely destroyed when she got back because she was late. And she tried to make it look like she was accosted. And so until the bruise on her face fades, she will be bruised
everywhere else. And she will run around in a necklace and a waist belt.
Yeah, Savannah was like, oh my God, I had to have the soles of her feet beaten. And that's not very efficient when I need her to like walk around. I'm like...
This whole chapter is literally just explaining torture. I didn't love it. I get it. I'm just kind of at the point with Robert Jordan where I'm like...
I get it. The world sucks.
You're into some weird shit, dude. And, like, you lean into it a little bit too hard.
It's a lot.
There's a... And
it's a lot.
This chapter does bring up that there's also a man who gets beaten. There's one. So, in this book, where up until this point, we're talking about, like, discussion of maybe, like, 17 women getting beaten. Mm-hmm. There is one man that has one sentence about it. But don't worry, because there's just paragraphs of what's going on with Galena's nudity. And I'm just like, I don't need this.
Yeah, Galena and, like, poor Aleandra later.
Aleandra's been raped again in the camp.
Yeah. Like, oh my God.
I just am like, it's a lot.
It is a lot. That's
this
why
chapter
I was like...
pushed it for me.
I was like, if you are uncomfortable with violence against women and that, like, is a trigger for you, like, don't read this series, because it's, yeah, oh boy.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that, like...
It's a lot.
I think that you can I get it. Like it's not like coming into this chapter I didn't know what was going on with the Shido. It's already been established.
Yeah.
And so to just have another chapter that is essentially like we're going to talk about we're going to just have a whole chapter about what is going on, what tortures the women are enduring, so that we can have a couple of lines about Fael getting the oath rod.
Yeah.
From some kid that we've never met before.
Well, getting the oath rod and like planning the escape, like, you know, that's what's important in this scene. But yeah, it's a lot.
It's just couched in so much abuse of women.
It's a lot.
That's described in like such detail. Like Robert Jordan will cut away from a battle. Will literally cut to the end of an interesting battle sequence and like have the characters kind of remember what happened and move on. But
yeah,
like,
I'd rather get
if
more
a
of
woman
that.
is naked getting spanked, we're going to get all the details about it.
Yeah. You're going to find out about it.
And I don't know.
Yeah.
No, James Smith. Alejandra gets raped in.
She does.
Yeah, because
it's not written like she got raped, but the men in the camp who are getting drunk are looking for women to accost, and she didn't have anyone to protect her, and
so Alejandra,
she was assaulted. Yeah. Unfortunately.
And so I don't know. It's just it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. That's why
Gargary Love is like Rand got beat. Dude, that was like 6 books ago. Do you know how many women have been beaten on page since Rand's... Like, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen both ways. I'm just saying that, like, Robert Jordan, like, lingers on it in a way that it's notable at this point.
Yeah.
Especially considering in this book, I know Galena's an evil character, and I know Alviarin is an evil character.
Yeah.
But that doesn't... it is a lot of this. It's just a lot of it.
Yeah.
And... I don't think it helps the story at all.
Yeah. No, I look at it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, I get it, the world is bad. Like, you don't have to tell me so many times.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. And you know what? I can fill in the blanks. Like, you know, the Sanchin, they're not the Sanchin. The Sanchin also suck. But the Shido suck. Like, I'm not under any impression that they are the good guys.
Yeah.
It is just a lot. And I think that, like, you know, for someone who is going to, like, pick up and read these books, I would warn them first, because for some people, that it's too far. It's, you know, bad shit happens to everybody, but in, like, every single POV that we get in this book so far, every single POV, there is a woman being abused.
Yes. And that's the thing. If it was any of them individually, I don't have the same problem with it. My problem is that it is in every single point of view of this book so far, there is a woman being abused somewhere.
Yeah.
In all of them.
Yeah, it's just a lot.
It gets noticeable when you're like, it's not like there's like an army that is doing this, and and some of the armies aren't. Some of the armies have other kinds of punishments.
Yeah.
It is that in the White Tower, Alviarin is getting spanked every single morning, and she's being spanked so much that she can't sit down. In the Shido, the women have to have protectors because the men are trying to rape them. And also, Savannah and Tharava are beating them constantly making them run around naked.
Just picks people to have beaten for the hell of it. Like
the only POV that doesn't have that is Rodella Tolerod's. Even Galad's point of view, which is incredible, is still about him avenging a woman who's been raped.
Yeah.
So it's like the focus of this novel is just women being abused in so many ways that, like, the culmination of it is that by the time we get to the end of the reading for the week, I'm like, I have read about this so much more than any other single thing. There's a bunch of other things that happen that are very interesting and very good.
Yeah.
But the thing that I'm reading about the most consistently in this book is not the plot. It is about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's almost like 50% that, 50% the other stuff. And like, I don't need this much of it to understand that the world is bad. I get it.
Yeah. That's just kind of where we're at. We get it. You know, we know what's happening, and so yeah. Like I said, I would like, you know, warn somebody who was going to read this book that they're gonna have to read about this a lot.
Yeah.
Robert Jordan's not the only person that does it. Like, this is not like a new and novel thing, but after 11 books, it sticks out.
I've never read anything like this. Even A Song of Ice and Fire, which I know has been brought up in the chat, has a different.
It's not every single POV someone is getting, like, beaten up.
But also it's way more sparse. When the violence in A Song of Ice and Fire happens, it is way more graphic. It is significantly worse violence.
Yeah.
But it's
not in every chapter.
It's not constant. There's beats that lead up to it. I'm not saying that makes it better. I'm just saying that it isn't as like laced through all of the, you know, and look, we've been complaining about this for a number of books. I know that people are upset that I bring it up, but it is just something it's just something that I really do feel like the way that slavery is handled in these books and the way that abuse of women is handled in these books is not particularly well done and has not really served the narrative in any way that I found interesting. It's really just kind of been like a background detail of the world is that women are constantly being abused in it. And that to me is just, it's not necessary. And at this point, it isn't interesting at all.
Well, and that's the problem, I think, is when you do something too often, it starts to lose its meaning. And, you know, like there are people who are like, I kind of glossed over that because it happens over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And so you kind of lose the impact of what that means for the characters. I think that there is a better balance of, yes, the world sucks. Everybody is kind of getting fucked over hard and like that's awful. But then a balance of like making those moments like impactful. When everybody's just getting beaten all the time, it's like just another day at the Survey Corps.
But it's also not getting worse. Like, we've been complaining about this for, like, 5 books.
No, yeah. We have noticed this for a while. And that's just what I mean.
I think it would be interesting if it started here. Like, you know what I mean? It would be very different if this was the beginning of it. And we're like, oh, my God, there's suddenly a lot of abuse in this world. But there's never not. Like, really, since after The Great Hunt, the first 2 books don't have any of it, right?
No,
there's
not
like
really.
The slavery stuff with the
collars. Because we're not in the White Tower.
There's a little bit of it, but even then there's mostly scrubbing pots.
Yeah.
The punishment in the White Tower in book 2 is mostly scrubbing pots, which makes sense. If you're going to punish people, punish them with chores that suck.
Yeah.
And their hands hurt. And like they're given punishments. There's a point where there stops being other punishments and all the punishments in the series become spankings.
Yeah.
And it's noticeable at this point that we've been talking about for so long. I want to move on. We've talked about it. I think we're done with it. But I can't read this over and over again and have a show where I talk about it and not bring it up.
Yeah.
Because other than that, I really do like the first chunk of this book. I think it's so much better than Crossroads of Twilight. I think it's so much better than the first half of Winter's Heart. Like, we're back to, like, the stuff about this series that I love. It just also still has the stuff about Robert Jordan's writing that I don't love.
Yeah.
And that's just how I feel.
It's, you know. That's just how it is. Yeah, so, Fael got the Oath Rod. And a bunch of the Shido are gonna go home. They're gonna leave. They're gonna go back to the...
Maybe.
Well, they're...
I don't think... they're talking about it.
I think that they will.
I think Perrin's gonna attack before then. I don't think they're gonna have time to leave, right?
Maybe.
Maybe the ones that survive Perrin's attack will, but I don't think that, like, a significant number of them will leave by the end of the week.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
But here's the thing. Somebody went to Ruidian behind Savannah's back.
Yeah, I wish we'd met him.
Me too, actually. I wish he was like a character, but...
It was just kind of like
a person.
This person left. And I was like, I kind of wish I knew who that was. It would have been interesting for it to be a character that we had some perspective on.
Yeah.
And instead it was just kind of like a random Aiel. But I like the idea that the Wise Ones sent someone to be the new clan chief behind his back. Behind her back.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just... Savannah's like, I'm sorry, excuse me? You sent someone to go behind my back and be clan chief? And they're always like, you're not clan chief.
And you're also not a wise one.
Yeah.
You're not really shit.
You are a wetlander.
At this point.
Basically, at this point.
She's wearing, like, the way that her jewelry is described, it's shocking she can walk.
I know. I'm like, if I had
like
an extra,
she walks
like,
around with her hands like this because she has so many rings on that she can't close her fingers.
I know. She hunches because her necklaces are just so heavy. Like,
well, and I love the idea that she's like dressed super slutty, but not because the jewelry hides her
cover
boobs.
It. Yeah, I know. It's like that's a choice.
It's so fucking weird.
Savannah. Sucks.
I want to get to Tarmangaden. I want to get past the Sanchin stuff, and I want to get past the White Tower, the Aleda stuff, and I want to, like, because a lot of the stuff that I have problems with are in those systems. Yeah. And so I'm hoping by the end of this book, we'll have wrapped up the Aleda stuff, we'll have wrapped up the Shido stuff, And like then I think the Sancho will take a little bit longer, but we'll wrap up the latest stuff, we'll wrap up the Shido stuff, and we'll start like focusing these stories back to our characters progressing.
I don't even need to like get close to Tarmangaden yet. I just need to know what it is and what our characters are planning for it. Please.
I just want to know what Tarmangaden is. I just want a prophecy about what the battle I would love for a little bit more of that.
And maybe they never find out what Tarmangaden is and they just have to prepare for any possibility.
I guess, yeah. I don't know. I think it would be really interesting to have some more conversation about Tarmangaden from the perspective of like us, because they just keep saying it's almost here.
Maybe Min is going to read about it in one of Herod Fell's books.
Maybe. But I don't think Herod Fell would know. Yeah, I don't know.
Tarmangaden is the friends we made along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to know what it is.
Yeah.
Please.
I will say, this book so far is, like, has some high fucking highs.
Oh my god.
That Galad scene, y'all, it's so fucking good. The Rodella Tilrod scene is so good. The Perrin scene, his meeting with the Sanchin, is so fucking well written. Mm-hmm. A lot of the Swan stuff, we didn't talk a lot about it because nothing really happens. But Swan as a character is so fascinating, and her like inability to accept that she loves Gareth Bryan is hilarious in a way that doesn't detract from her character. I really like the way it's written.
Yeah.
And the Bianin reveal, honestly, the Bianin reveal was a better reveal to me than the Ishamael reveal. Agreed. Although the Bianin reveal is a real reveal, and the Ishamael one might be fake.
Might be a fake out, so we'll see.
I do hope we see Rand next week. We're reading through chapter 12, so.
We get Matt.
Oh, is that the next?
I see dice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Where's chapter 12? Oh, okay. I went too far. Chapter 12. Oh, yeah, no. To the end of chapter 12 would be to like there.
It's a good chunk of reading. Much shorter than this week.
Yeah, because we didn't have the fucking prologue. Yeah, hopefully Rand's in there somewhere, but honestly, I'm not sure. What?
Tarmangaden is just everyone meeting in a Tim Hortons parking lot and having a West Side Story dance fight. That's so funny.
Silly Palm, it's because Randland is Canada, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why it's Tim Hortons. Yeah, I'm guys, this book so far, for the most part, fucking slaps.
Yeah.
Very, very, very happy to be like back into it.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited to see where it's going because it feels like we're finally at a point where our characters are like, we have to act now, and I'm excited to see that because that's the thing that I've been waiting for so long, and yeah. I'm as we keep going, I'm happy to be back feeling like I want to pick up the reading as soon as the podcast is done today.
Yes.
As opposed to Crossroads of Twilight where I was like I'll get to it eventually.
Yes.
Right now, like all I want to do is read Matt's next chapter, and so I'm really happy. I think this book is other than the stuff that we talked about today, and I'm going to be honest the whole way through. I'm never going to just like suck it off, but yeah. I really think this book is quite fantastic.
I agree 100%. We are reacting to chapter 20. Thank you, Dakuna. So that's going to be not next section, but the following section. I think it's in section 3. Or no, maybe it's 4. I don't know. Chapter 20. Doesn't matter. And so that's going to be fun. We also, I feel like maybe we should have talked about this first, but we are going to be in London.
Yeah.
For Star Wars Celebration. We have a panel. Let
us know in the chat if you're going to Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah, for the Nerdy Wordy Book Club. We'd love to see you there. If you are in the area but you're not interested in Star Wars Celebration, we are going to pick a pub nearby on Thursday night, which is like, what, the 5th, I think?
Yeah.
5th or 6th. We're going to pick a pub. We're going to go. We're going to have a few drinks. We're going to chill out. Dakuna's going to be there. It might just be Dakuna, but hey, if you live in or nearby London, we'll post in the Discord where we're gonna just meet up and hang. Obviously, if you can't get to Star Wars Celebration, we totally understand that. The panel there is for a Star Wars book. It's not for the wheel.
Yeah, we're covering Sam Magg's book, Battle Scars.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, so that's gonna be fun, and hopefully we'll get to meet some of y'all book clubbers, some nargs. I feel like I should let people know. We'll remind you as the weeks go by, in case you're like, that's too far in advance for me to even like think about.
For those of you who are interested, there is a limited edition gray Narg beanie in the store right now. So
Yeah.
go get your limited edition beanie. It will only be up for the week or forever if we like the way it looks.
We really like it.
We'll tell you next week how limited it
knows?
is. It might be limited to forever, or it might be limited to this week. So who knows?
Yes. If you know any artists who are fans of Wheel of Time, please send them my way.
In the Discord, please.
Yeah, message me on like Discord. I will do my best to try to be on top of that.
At the end of our show, we do high-low. That starts with Claire's doing her high, I do my low, she does her low, I do my high. We compliment Sandwich this biche because when I was a kid, this is how my family stayed close. We would get together at the dinner table and we would commiserate over each other's lows and celebrate each other's highs. Today, Clarus, what is your high from The Knife of Dreams, chapters prologue through chapter 5?
I think I know what your high is. So I'm going to try and like...
you do.
No?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to go with fucking Galad.
Okay, you did.
Oh, okay,
You
no, wait.
figured it
Okay,
out.
wait, never
No,
mind.
you take it. I have another one.
You have another one? Okay. The Galad scene was an incredible way to start a book.
Mm-hmm.
And what it means for the change in the world, what it means for the change in this character and surrounding characters. It was so fucking cool. I loved it all. Like, the book started on the highest of highs. And Galad's really cool. I still don't hate Gawain. I still don't understand why y'all hate him. But Galad is like fucking S tier character for me now. We gotta do a new character ranking stream.
Yeah, we do. We'll do that at the end of the Robert Jordan stuff.
Yeah.
At the end of the book.
Yeah.
My low is the Forsaken chapter. It was a letdown to me. I really felt like it was just too pedestrian and in other than like the woman abuse stuff that we talked about.
Yeah.
I really was the Forsaken chapter before the battle for the Taint was so good. And the like teasing about whether the Dark One would still trust the men after the Taint. Like there was so much set up in that chapter that I thought this chapter was going to comment on or resolve or have a perspective on. And it just kind of had no perspective. And it ended with them being like, and now go kill Matt and Perrin, the thing that's been the goal since the beginning. So yeah, the Forsaken chapter just to me was just kind of a nothing burger. And I don't know. It just it didn't do any of the things that I wanted that chapter to do.
Yeah. That's fair. Dakuna, no, definitely did not see that coming. My low is also in that chapter. Honestly, my low is the Ishamael thing. Yeah. I like really hope it's not Ishamael. If it is, whatever. But it was kind of a weird way to reveal it, and I hope that I don't know. I just never found Ishamael particularly interesting, and so for me, I'm kind of like, whatever.
Although it makes sense for the show version, because I do like the show version of Ishamael. I think that actor is really good, and so it would make the show version a little bit easier to do for me, but I agree with you. My high is Egwene, weirdly. Other than Galad.
Like, it would have been really smart to hide my weaves.
No, that is definitely in my lows of Egwene being an idiot. No, I really like the moment in the White Tower where Egwene is like, I am who I am. And the White Tower's like, you can't beat the White Tower. We're going to break you. And Egwene's like, you're not. And it's not like, I'm so great, you're not.
Yeah.
It's just Egwene being like, no, I'm good. I'll stay here. I'll fight from the inside. There's nothing that you can do to me that would actually affect my mission. So do what you want. I'm good. I am Egwene Alvear. I fucking rock. And I don't need to be pompous about it. I don't need to be arrogant in the way that the other Aes Sedai are. I just need to believe in myself. And there's just something about the way that was written that I meant to bring up earlier and I didn't. But there's something about the way that it was written that I was like, you know what? I really appreciate Egwene in this moment. Not with no backing, without Swan, without anyone there to like defend her. She really has like come into her own, and Egwene's been a weird character. She's been kind of all over the map in terms of how I feel about her. Going back to the moment with Nynaeve, where I was like, Egwene is an F tier character that I will never like again. I'm still, I still think that moment sucks, and I think that it's not a good moment for the character. But in this moment, it was written in a way that I really appreciated her kind of, for the first time, just being centered. And there aren't a lot of characters who feel that way in the Wheel of Time. So to have a character who's just like, I'm good, I can handle this. I liked it a lot. Yeah.
And they're not screaming about it.
Yeah.
It's really, it was just nice to see.
It was like almost like Jedi Zen, like calm. I'm one with the Force is with me. I can handle it. Yeah. It was cool.
Yeah, I loved it. I think that's a great high, actually. Well done.
Yeah.
Crushed it, y'all. Thanks for being here. If you like this video,
like and subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Leave mean comments down below because the algorithm god is hungry and we must feed her. This episode, that algorithm goddess is probably, honestly, Berlane. But she gets that like sick fucking burn on the Sanchin.
Yeah.
And I just loved it. I loved Berlane so much here. Mostly because she's not being a fucking weirdo towards Perrin anymore. Yeah,
that is nice. I love that Perrin is like, she's kind of hotter now that she's not all over me. And I'm like, yeah. Because she was annoying as fuck before.
Perry Wolf, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
By the way, the Choose on Hybrid gets great reviews. Good, because we're about to go buy one.
If it's still there when we get there, we will take a photo of the new Lady Jon Snow. No,
it needs a new name.
Well, you guys can help us come up with a name in the Discord.
It'll probably be Wheel of Time related at this point.
Probably.
Who's a good White Aja member that we can... Should we name it Alviarin?
No.
Y'all, if you are on Apple, go to Apple iTunes and rate this podcast 5 stars. Leave a comment on that review, and we will read it in the future on the show. I promise we will be getting back to doing those. There haven't been a lot of new reviews, so we just haven't anything to read. But if you want to have us read something from you, and you don't want to super chat, a free way to do that on the show, go rate us 5 stars. I will literally read anything. I've read some weird shit, so just go do that. Thank you. It is the best way to help us grow. Not that I think we'll really grow at this point until Memory of Light, at which point I think a lot of people who've left will come back and check it out because we're at the end. But this is a diehard podcast for people who are willing to sit through 3 hours of us talking about these books.
Yeah, y'all are just as mad as we are.
Even though it was literally like an hour and 40 minutes of prologue and then an hour of everything else.
I know. We figured.
Because the prologue fucking rocked.
It was
great. Prologue was so fucking good.
Prologue slapped. Oh my God. Yeah, you love to see it. It was great.
Yeah.
Like the video, and we're about to talk about sex, so leave if you don't want to hear it.
Baby, let's talk about you and me. Smut Corner!
Smut Corner has
the part of the show that we won't do at Star Wars Celebration because we're not allowed. Let's add sex to this section. Halima and Graendal's weird fucking orgy of just strap-on grials. I'm talking like face dildos. I'm talking butt plugs.
Yeah.
I'm talking like baddragon.com trollic dicks. You know what I mean?
Trollic dicks.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm talking. They're like going through like all the kinks.
Yeah.
You know
I love that Arengar like fucking pulls her hair in the middle and she's just like.
That's hot. You know that turned her on. You know she went.
Her dress turned red. So yes.
Yeah.
My smut corner is actually that Fael's hiding spot for the rod. It's not up her sleeve, I can tell you that much.
So Roland's going to be the one to find it?
Roland is going to find the rod.
I really hated the whole Roland being like, what happens when your guy Shan doesn't matter? Your husband can't be mad about it.
This isn't Vegas.
This
like,
is
that's
weird.
not how that works.
I really hope she doesn't like sleep with him to get out of there and then like have to hide that from Perrin or some shit like that.
That would be weird. Although, like, yeah. It's one of those weird things where it's like, would Perrin be upset if Fael was like, look, to get out of this situation, I had to fuck this guy. I hope you can forgive me. Like, it's a weird place to be in.
I think he will be mad if she lies about it and hides it. But yeah.
Yes. If I was kidnapped and I got back to you and I was like, I'm so sorry, I had to do this, like, thing, and will you please forgive me? Like, I feel like that's very different than trying to hide it and not being honest.
But I also wouldn't be mad if you were like, hey, I got laid tonight. It was very fun.
That's true.
I'd be like, oh, good. Tell me about it.
In detail, please.
Tell me more. Please show me. What? I want to know about your nightly orgy.
Oh, my God.
I wouldn't be that mad, right?
You look like a little elf. Especially with the green and the red. It's very Christmas.
I don't know. I just, that's not something I care about. So
no, I know.
For me, it's like kind of whatever. But yeah, no, I think for Perrin it would matter. But I think her lying to him would matter more. I'm
sure it would. But yeah, we all know where that rod is hidden. I'm just saying.
I'm trying to think if there are any other
moments.
I feel like Parava or Pavara, whatever. Pavara and her friends probably are getting some of that like good lesbian. Because she's a red, right? Like she's like probably, she looks to women for some stress relief. I feel like they're very stressed in their like hunt for the dark friends, hunt for the rebels, and they're probably turning to each other for that, which is nice.
You know, that woman who came out of retirement with a mouth like a sailor, you know, does other things with that mouth.
Yeah.
What that mouth do?
Show me what that mouth do,
it's
Pavara.
Very dirty.
Y'all, this has been a great book club. Thanks so much for being here. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you for everyone who contributed to the Jaguar Fund. We are not going to buy a Jaguar, but we're going to keep your money.
Wow.
We are apparently going to go buy a car because you guys said to. So let's go do that. This is going to be a fun week ahead of us. Sunday, there's a bonus episode of Attack on Titan going up. It's the Ilsa's Notebook reaction. Because then on Tuesday, the No Regrets reactions are going up. And then on Thursday, episodes 3 and 4 of season 2. So there's going to be 5 episodes of Attack on Titan in the next week. That's going to be fun. What else? Mandalorian season 2 or season 3, episode 2 on Wednesday.
Hell yeah.
I didn't expect Mandalorian to be our worst performing video in a long time, so that was strange. But Last of Us penultimate episode, my favorite word, on Monday.
Yeah.
Expanse episode 9 tonight. Expanse episode 8. Y'all, the fucking craziest episode of The Expanse yet. Holy shit, the reveal at the end is fucking nuts.
Yes.
We lose our minds in that reaction. Thank you to Brandon for doing such a good job editing it because I fucked up recording the audio. And then...
yeah, you're the best.
I'm missing one thing.
To our editor. We're only going to, react to one chapter in this book for patrons.
Chapter 20.
Yeah, patrons and members.
I think that's everything.
That's everything.
We will be live Monday, so come hang out with the nightly morning show.
Nightly morning show.
Yeah, we're going to bring back the morning show for the month of March because we have time for it.
For a few of them, anyways.
Do something internet, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Bye.